Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome back. I am really excited to be doing yet another episode with you all with Clock Strike Zero. I brought these guys back for you at Minor Realm Games. We brought some more story tonight for you. It's part 3, what we call session 2, right? We did 0, 1, 2. It's like we're counting to something. We just have a ton of cool announcements and things going on, so I wanted to spend a little bit of the top of the program this evening. First of all, extending immense amounts of gratitude to you all, because as of this point right now, we've raised over $1,800 for worthy causes, nonprofits, and charities over the last 4 weeks together. And that is just an incredible feat that I am just, I'm elated and I'm humbled. Thank you for continuing to come back. Thank you for putting your hard-earned money into noteworthy and causes that we're all passionate about. I can't say enough to thank you all. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the interaction on social media and the shares. We are at about 95 followers right now on Twitch. And I guess that'll lead me to my next point. We are still looking to do the $100 match for 100 followers. So this evening, if you have other friends that are into tabletop gaming, or you've sort of enjoyed coming back, you're enjoying what we're doing here, then share this out over Twitter, over Facebook, message people, text people, give them the link. We break 100 follows tonight. We're immediately putting $100 on the new banner, the new charity that we have up here. It is Pride Month. And we would be remiss to not join in the Twitch gaming community and celebrating such. We are raising, starting tonight until the end of the month, so all of our remaining game sessions as well as our chat sessions, a milestone $1,000 goal for the Trevor Project. A little bit about the Trevor Project if you're not familiar. So it's the world's largest suicide prevention and crisis intervention org for the LGBTQ community. They help in saving young lives by providing critical support through free and confidential suicide prevention, crisis intervention programs, and giving a 24/7 lifeline, phone, text, and web chat. The organization also runs a global safe space and a networking site for LGBTQ youth, which engages in education, research, and advocacy program opportunities. So it's just an incredible opportunity to get involved here. We wanted to keep the good times rolling. We've found that our viewers that are watching our streams are really passionate about some of the same causes we are. It seems like you're supporting us, you're supporting people in need, people that are disproportionately affected by some of the circumstances going on right now globally as well. So we are just proud to continue this trend. So that bar is going to be up there. The link to donate is actually below this video stream, so you can click there and it'll take you right over to our campaign link, where you can sign up and donate. And again, as I always say, if you are not in a position at this current moment to be able to donate, that's okay. We are all in varying stages of economic circumstances that we are working through. And by no means feel pressured to donate there. If you just want to share this stream, get the good word out, invite some friends over that maybe like gaming or supporting good causes, happy to do that as well. Thank you, Dave, for posting the link in the chat for our viewers. It looks like we have some of you in there ready to get going tonight, and some of you we're welcoming back. So we're really excited. Hello, Mike Lennox, not McKellenox. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for tuning in with us. We are going to go ahead and get kicked off here with our story in just a moment. I wanted to go ahead and do what I always do, and that's the great pleasure of allowing my friends and my company compatriots introduce themselves. JP, who are you playing?
I'm playing Cal Greenglass, a halfling thief. And my name's JP. I am General Counsel and CFO of Minor Realm Games.
Awesome. Matt.
Hi, Matt Zisk. I will be playing Lundy Bellcamp, a ranger known throughout the land for his incredible marksmanship. And as far as Minor Realm Games goes, I guess I'm the chief advisor in chief.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and then those of you that have watched a little bit of Lundy, Matt's character in Clock Strike Zero, you get the humor, but not in this land, Mike says, regarding old Lundy Bell Camp. We'll see if Lundy's arrow is guided more faithfully tonight with precision. His valor and his heart is strong, but his aim is not. Dave.
Yep, I am Dave. Tonight within Clock Strike Zero, I play Ragnar Wartooth, a young dwarf fighter, quick to action, and also quick to anger. As far as MRG goes, I am pretty present in the social media aspect, so if any of you talk to us on there, good chance you're talking to me. So.
Awesome. And then last but not least, Mike.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Mike, and I'm playing today Varys of Safray. He is our resident half-elf cleric who tends to join the battle fray probably a little bit too quickly, according to most people. But hey, we have good people around us, and he's not getting shot in the back by Lundy Bellcamp. He's trying to save the party. Outside of that, I also the principal architect for My Realm Games, and that means that I build a website.
Yeah, which you are hard at work on right now. We're looking at launching the website around this time next month, guys. So we'll have a go live date for you very, very soon. This module, as well as all of the additional merchandise for sale, will be up on that website. We'll have a Kickstarter date launching in August. Dave and I will have some very special, awesome news for you later this week during our Castle Blood Moon broadcast. So please come back the 25th of this month, later this week, as we continue to raise money for the Trevor Project, our final charity in our campaign month. And we're just really excited about that. We have some great podcast content, interviews and stuff that's going to be all uploaded for you. We'll have great announcements for you later in the week. So I guess with that, thank you as always for coming back, and we're going to go ahead and get started and play some of the world's greatest role-playing game. All right. So to reset the stage for everybody, our viewers at home, as well as our players, our cast of characters this evening, our heroes began by traveling northward into the sort of quiet and reticent, interesting little town known as Blackworm just a few days ago. And Blackworm was founded, as you now know, by a few rich immigrant families named after the dragons of the East. The smell of the apple orchards and the fresh maple trees blowing in the wind across the autumn eve greeted the somewhat, disconcerted adventurers that met eerie, subtle green gas lamp lights. And although the cobblestone on the streets sparkled and the town was well maintained, it was a bit of an eerie place when you first arrived. The town was actually pretty, though. It was quite pretty. And in its sort of central monument, a clock tower stood several hundred feet tall, watching over all of the land. But a rich and perhaps story we're finding out, and a troubled history in some senses, lives here, seated and rooted deeply into this town's foundation, its evolution, its continuity, waiting to spring to life new and potentially treacherous adventure. Our party met just less than 2 weeks ago. Lundy Bellcamp and Cal Greenglass from the west, and Ragnar Wartooth and Varys of Safray from the east. Each other stumbling along the mid-byways and lower Roland Pass as they banded together and took on some deadly raiders. The party's leader, Lundy, felt it prudent to make the journey northward together to make a request to the High Court of Herlevek, petitioning to work as a guild for the kingdom. Not only could it bring great acclaim, but also a substantial amount of coin along with it. It would be upon their arrival to Blackworm, however, in this modest, unassuming settlement, that they'd be whisked away into an adventure in and of itself, on the very same evening that they had arrived. Our party joined up with a lonely old gnome by the name of Mr. Gorgel to rescue a boy from town from the haunted and spider-infested halls of the former St. Ethan's Church, just a district away. After which, Mr. Gorgel would use his magical cane to set the shell of the haunted halls ablaze. The next day, the party was granted a feast in the home of the Smithtons, as Ellie, the mother of young Lawrence, formed a dinner as a form of gratitude for your bravery. A breakfast, rather. At breakfast, the group would learn of the disappearance of another boy in town just a few years ago, Shaunus Davister, a founder's child. It was then Mr. Gorgel would be swiftly apprehended, however, during breakfast by men representing King's Guard for charges of illicit use of dark magic in the boundaries of the civilization. But Cal noticed something peculiar about these King's Guard. They wore the same golden S as the bandits you'd faced on Roland Pass, now known to be affiliated with a robust assassins guild, calling themselves the Silhouette. The party discreetly tailed the men who arrested Gorgel and found they were in fact taking him below the settlement through a sewer grate, behind the magistrate's offices, not into court at all. You all bravely and boldly pursued, and through tactical and valorous effort, you crept around through a dingy, deadly sewer system, nearly dispatched by oozes and spores, almost eaten by crocodiles, and some coming close to being slashed down by the assassins themselves. But you prevailed nonetheless. You learned that the Silhouette would be reporting back to their leader, Xantolin, that they were after Gorgel's cane, that they believed Gorgel to be a sorcerer king and a danger to this land, and they felt compelled to send resources to capture him. It leaves you with many questions, so later that evening you all get cleaned up and you head back to Pinard's Inn, where it all began in Blackworm, for dinner and pints with Mr. Gorgel. And that takes us to present. So the inn is certainly more crowded this evening. You come to learn that tomorrow begins the first day of the Harvest Festival. Many come to town for this momentous and really just fun and silly occasion to put their wares on display, to busk in the streets, to celebrate. But more importantly, as the evening wears on and the tavern grows more full, Mr. Gorgel opens up to you all a little bit. And he speaks a tale, a fascinating revelation. And it goes like this. Is everybody ready?
Oh, wait. Before you start, this is pretty important. Are we drinking ale or cider?
Both. Yeah, both are available.
Okay.
So whichever you prefer. Yeah, both.
It's
Whatever.
the Harvest Festival.
Very
Right?
important.
Yes, it is. Yes, whichever available. Whichever you prefer. Cool. So yeah, you're drinking an ale or cider. The place is starting to fill up. You'd been sitting in your table for a few hours, but you can tell that you got there early enough, right? And the place is starting to fill in, more crowded. It's not quite shoulder to shoulder yet. It's a pretty big hall, but there's some performers that are rolling in as well, like a little band that's waiting to get set up for the evening festivities. It's basically like, for the Westerners, in the Christmas Eve or the night before Thanksgiving, right? It's like a big drinking holiday for them. So the festival hasn't officially kicked off, but it's sort of the night before, right? The eve of the beginning of the Harvest Festival, which is like a 3 or 4 day festival from what you've been made aware of. Gorgel has things to tell you, though. He feels like he owes you a bit of an explanation, so he tells you a little bit of a story about who he is and his true identity. And he says, "Long ago, I was known as King Arelin, the third sorcerer of the Northern Nexus. But as you may or may not know, a war with the Lesser Storm Giants swept our lands away from us. We were forbidden from killing the opposition due to the bylaws written in our ancient codex. We watched the giants and their dragons destroy everything, until one day when I stood up, and I fought back. For I could not see another innocent creature destroyed by these wretched titans. I prepared an incantation that would curse the giants and blight them and their life forces for eternity. For my crime, I was banished by my own colleagues from the Northern Nexus and exiled southward. I was given only a small rowboat and rags on my back. However, I prepared a concealment spell to disguise my scepter," as he taps gunk on the ground, "in the form of this cane. I sailed and sailed through high water and tempestuous climate until I arrived in Ziaris. I didn't find myself very welcome, though, not in most of the lands here for decades. And I never wanted to be found again by the Northern Nexus, so I changed my identity, and I assumed work here in Blackworm 30 years ago as a servant. It is now I sit before you, not only humbled, but broken, as I was dismissed again from service, this time by the Davisters, after the disappearance of their son Shanist. The boy, you see, was under my care. That is what the assassins were attempting to tell you. I feel ashamed to have to admit this secret to you, but I feel as now though we've adventured together a time or two, and I owed you the respect of being honest and transparent. I hope you can forgive me, as I did not mean to put you in any danger.
So should I call you my liege?
Please, no. It's been a long time since I've been a king.
So I say, Gojal, it's been 30 years, but is anyone possibly still looking for you?
It's been longer than 30 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's been in Ziaris for about 30 some odd years. But
Oh,
yeah.
right, got it.
Yeah.
But anyway, the question still stands.
Yeah. He tells you that it's been about 200 years.
Oh yeah. All right.
And but he says, yes, many still are looking for me. They want this artifact. They want my life. They believe me to be a danger to this land.
What can you tell us about Zalaton?
He is an evil and dangerous character. He himself wants to overthrow the kings of Herlevek, Safre, and Raymore. And that, like, Ragnar, you kind of hear that, and that kind of, like, perks your ears a little bit. Like, he's even looking to go and potentially corrupt the Dwarven civilization, which is the
east, yeah.
furthest removed, from the rest.
How would he know about your true identity?
He is a well-studied man. He is a history scholar. He masqueraded for a long time at the Academy Hall. But he would take his students and he would put them into an enrollment program where he would train them to become assassins. Said the only way to reclaim the history of Ziaris is to fight back. He knows very well of the Northern Nexus. He knows of the Lesser Storm Giant invasion, and he knows of me. I have met him but once. He has come to Blackworm for me already. Thankfully, at that time, the Davisters were on my side, and they pushed him away. But now it seems as if he's coming back, and I fear that I have brought you all into this, corralled you into my curse.
It seems that you've been cursed by the world, my friend. You know, for doing what is just and doing what is right. I don't. You know, I'm welcome to be your friend if you'd have it as such.
Thank you. I meant what I said about loyalty and family.
Gorgel, we owe you a lot already, but speaking of your shame, can you tell me how did Shaunus come to be missing? Do you know?
Yes, I do. In time, I will be able to tell you the whole story. It is a painful one to recall, but it is my secret, and I must not be too open with these dark details.
What happens in the orchard stays in the orchard.
He kind of looks all around the table. The tavern is starting to grow kind of more and more lively, and a performing band with, now you see, 2 piped accompanists and a hand drummer and an exuberantly colorful, sort of dressed in rather vocal, boisterous bard in a feathered cap and purple and yellow silks, with a really pretty sort of ornate fretboard on his lute, begins to play, and the crowd begins to stand up and dance. And Lundy, just as you start to ask Gorgel to tell you more about the disappearance of the Davister boy, a young woman, fair skin, dark hair, comes over and she asks you for a dance.
Oh dear.
What do you do?
How many people are dancing?
Probably 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that range now. Most of them are couples, and
And I don't recognize this person.
nope. Yeah, you wouldn't recognize her. You're sort of a foreigner to town.
Cal elbows Lundy in the ribs. Go on, have some fun.
I chug my stein of, I'm gonna say cider.
Okay.
because it's-
Okay. let's do cider.
I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah. Thankfully, we've decided
I
upon
was
that.
waiting with bated breath.
And yeah, I'll go for a spin.
Okay. Yeah, you stand up. You see Lundy get sort of whisked away and taken off onto the dance floor in this open space as the band begins to kick up.
I will be careful to say though that I am not completely oblivious to what's going on in the bar. I'm going to be watching the table and
Sure.
all
Sure.
that sort of thing. So
Yeah. Varys, actually, another individual comes over to you, and it looks like a fair-skinned, sort of elven individual, tall and blonde character. This young woman leans her hair down and asks you if you'd like to dance.
Oh, I sort of, kind of look at my party mates and look over at Gorgel and kind of like you see my cheeks just starting to redden a little bit, and I just say I look up at the woman and I say, maybe, I kind of eye my drink, maybe later.
As red as your cloak.
wait, isn't your deity like the god of love or something?
Fertility.
Fertility,
Yes.
even, yeah.
all the more reason to
You soft pass.
I do a soft pass for
Oh
that.
my god.
I do.
She feels very embarrassed, and her face turns bright red as well, having taken the fortitude and the liberty to ask you, and you sort of said maybe later, and she sort of giggles though, and she blows you a kiss as she walks away, although you can tell she's very red in the face. She's a little upset by that. You see Lundy sort of get taken into the dance floor, and the bard is just shouting some lyrics, some old sort of radio edits of what seems like pirate shanties and old sea dog tales that are more appropriate, since there are a couple of children sort of around the tavern as well. It's sort of Pernard opens up the facility, everybody sort of open door policy. Even the youngins when the festival begins. So it gets crowded in here for dinner service, really post dinner service. Go ahead, Matt.
As I'm dancing around, I want to see if I recognize any of the minstrels in the band, but since I'm kind of pretty familiar with the road.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So there is a kind of a drummer, sort of a hand drummer, a percussionist that you recognize, and his name is he goes by Banjo. He goes by Banjo, and he's just he kind of looks up at you. He knows you from the north as well. He was a mountain man at his time. He's a multi-instrumentalist, but he's sort of a failed soloist, and he seems to have joined up with this little road crew here. He used to stand around in the town squares of Herlevec and tell stories and barely make any coin. But he's standing in the corner there. He has kind of an eye that he's kind of got a little bit closed. It's kind of damaged. It's not completely missing, but he caught a bit of a scrap there in the Endless War, and you know him to be a retired soldier that has taken up instrumentation and music as a way of relief in the next life.
Happy little rhythm.
Yes, happy little rhythms.
So I also like I kind of like sort of elbow Ragnar and I say under my breath, I can't dance.
It's easy. You just sway.
I mean, is that what Lundy's doing? Is he swaying? I mean,
No, I'm imagining we're doing a jig. And
yeah, they're doing a bit of a. It's sort of like almost a bit of a Celtic vibe. It's dum da dum da dum da dum da 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the drums are beating pretty loudly, and the vocalist is kind of shouting. So they're spinning and they're turning each other and they're locking arms. They have a little bit of a square dance and jig pattern as they separate and then rejoin again. Lundy is sort of going with the flow, but you can also tell that he's sort of has a bit of a vacant expression upon his face, not really necessarily engaged with the young lady that's asked him to go dance. He's more focused on what's going on around the room. You see him make eye contact with you guys a handful of times at the table. Gorgel just sort of chuckles to himself as this is all going on.
Yeah, so
Any-
Lundy's like
anyone- and-
spinning his person, and I just go to Ragnar. I'm like,
You know,
yeah, swaying. Yeah,
any
that's exactly
any
what.
any of you are welcome to cut in.
I mean, I'm gonna look like a drunk person doing the electric slide because I'm in full armor and I can hardly step. So that's all I'm gonna be doing if I go dance.
You, Lundy, as you're dancing, the music dies down a little bit, and everybody, yay, starts clapping in the room, and everybody's celebrating, and you hear somebody say, "The festival!" and they all, "The festival!" on the other side, and they're all clanking tankards, and they come over to you guys at the table that are still sitting, and they begin kind of smashing their tankards into you, a couple drunken town folk, and etc. And that's when Lundy, the young woman, leans in your ear, and she gives you a very soft sort of peck on your earlobe, and she says, "You know he'll come for you." And she pushes her hand against your chest, and just trails off as the crowd sort of starts to spill their beer and their ales everywhere, and they all kind of cut in, and she sort of just she dips into the crowd, and
Way to kill the mood.
yeah.
Do any of us see the little peck on the cheek?
You guys kind of see him, Lundy, and his dancing partner sort of get lost in the shuffle of about 40 or 50 people that kind of come up and charge the open space where the stage is.
So, Bill, am I poisoned?
You are not poisoned at this time.
Poisoned with love.
Yes, you have the love bug, which is more dangerous than poison.
I don't know what the crowd, the room is looking like exactly, but at some point I would like to go say hi to the banjo.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, so they're slowing down a little bit. They played like 2 or 3 songs at this
Well,
point.
yeah, I thought they were on break.
Yeah, exactly. They played like 2 or 3 songs, probably about 15, 20 minutes worth of music. They're taking like a 5-minute break. Yeah, you can hop over there. He's just kind of sitting on what looks like a kind of like a little conga drum, and he has like a little snare drum in front of him, and he looks like he's kind of tuning it.
All right. You want we playing this now, or do you want to get back to it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say, Banjo, you old dog.
He says,
What brings you down here?
"Is that Lundy Velkamp?"
Indeed, in the flesh.
Oh, sight for sore eyes. What are you doing all the way down here?
Looking for able-bodied members for a little adventuring project we're working on.
Suppose you don't need have any use for a drummer like me, eh?
Well, we don't. I'm always a fan of some good percussion around a campfire, but we're not going to be in any long marches anytime soon.
That's reasonable. I spent my time on the front lines, Lundy. You know that.
Indeed. But so, how you been? Noticed you got a bit of a nick above your eye there.
Yes. It's finally healing up, though. He says, "It took a long time. A little bit of magic down here. Nice gentleman over there, actually." And he points over to to Gorgel at the table and says, "He actually healed it up quite nicely from the last time you've seen me."
Gorgel gets around, I suppose. Or word of him does.
He's a good man. He's friendly. Do you know him?
We quite recently we've met. He kind of saved our bacon the other night.
Saved you? Huh. You're the
It was
best.
spiders. Banjo, it was spiders. You don't even want to know.
Everybody knows Lundy Velkamp's the best shot in the north.
Yeah, and my legend did nothing but grow. So
As I would have expected. It's good to see you again, old friend.
you as well.
Perhaps we find each other's paths crossed on the byway. We have to get back to performing, you see, but maybe we can catch up and have a pint if you're still in town later this evening.
Does he have a drink himself?
He does. It's like half empty. It's like a small little pint. Yeah.
Oh, I'm assuming I'm assuming at some point maybe I got a refill and I'll just toast him.
Got it. Yeah, he raises it to you and says, "Good to see you, old chap.
You as well."
Take care of yourself, bugger."
So I'll go back to the table and I'll mention this to the rest of the party. Like, well, I mean, if Gorgel is sitting there I don't care. Even if he's sitting there, I'll say I'll talk. I'll address him like Gorgel. I hear you've been practicing some healing around here.
Yes.
My eyes perk up.
It used to be a specialty of mine. I'm attempting to get back to it. I saw the lad over there. He was attempting to play a stringed instrument earlier today, out in one of the courtyards in Clockcourt Square. But he couldn't quite find his rhythm. I approached him and had a conversation with him on my way back to the inn, and you see, and I helped him visualize the notes, if you will.
Well, there's a trick.
And that's healed him.
He says, well, we hope. It's been a long time, as I've mentioned. He says,
I'd be interested in learning anything you have to offer.
He says-
I know that, we are as much in your debt as perhaps the latter. So,
then let's discuss that for a moment. I, as payment for saving my life, have arranged a very special meeting tomorrow morning at a rare artifact shop in town. In fact, gifts are being prepared for you as we speak. He says, so, I'm going to go home and get some sleep. You all, please don't drink too much. Be responsible, boys, but have fun.
No.
And I will meet you in the morning. After sunup, have a breakfast. I will be here at the inn to fetch you and look after you at the artifact shop in the south of town. It's the least I can do.
are you sure you're going to be okay for the evening? What happens if Zoltan actually decides to come at you tonight?
He taps on his cane and says, I've lived 450 years. I never wanted them in fear.
As good as answer as any.
Before he leaves, Cal sort of claps him on the shoulder, says, sleep well, friend.
Thank you, Cal. I will. It's been a long day for all of us. Mind you, still the same day, right, as the sewers, so... Cal, you were almost swallowed by crocodiles earlier this afternoon. It's an occasion to drink, certainly.
Yeah, I toast Mr. Gogel as he leaves as well.
Yeah.
I've also throughout the evening I've sort of just been trying to keep my ears open for any snippets of conversation I can hear in the room. In particular, I'm curious if anybody has mentioned finding. Oh no, we threw him in the sewer, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we lowered him down.
Yes.
We most definitely did.
No, you do though, Cal. You do hear snippets of conversations sort of in and out between the decibels of the band and the crowd raucously cheering about 4 newcomers to town that have seemed to stir up some trouble. On the contrary, you hear other conversations about 4 brave adventurers that rescued the Ellie Smithton boy, and you hear sort of different spins on your presence here as folks are making small talk, right? You have to remember, this is sort of a closed civilization. They get a trader or a merchant in here or 2 or 3 throughout the year, especially around the festival period, but they don't get a whole lot of adventurers that are just walking around town sleuthing or boldly defending people or rescuing people. So it's big news. It's breaking news. So you've heard a little bit of that conversation and that chatter throughout the evening. And you've ascertained that knowledge. It is yours to do what you wish with it.
Bill, so as I'm scanning the room, do I happen to notice anyone that sort of looks like a mercenary or, God forbid, a golden and Z badge?
Oh, S, the silhouette.
Oh,
yes.
S. I'm sorry. Yes.
No, you don't notice any S badges in the room. But Cal, you do notice that there has been since Lundy got up to start dancing, kind of out of his vantage point, out of his view. There has been a tall, gray-haired, sort of short and almost kind of feathered gray-haired male standing by the door. He looks to be elvish, maybe half elven, and he's been standing by the door with a leg against the wall, slow sipping the same drink for at least an hour to an hour and a half's time. Well before Lundy got up, and especially during Lundy, he kind of looked over at the band. He kind of has a furrowed brow and a little bit of a focused, if not distressed or irritated look upon his face, and that's caught your eye a couple times. Lundy, you catch that sort of on the back half of that hour and a half after your dance, after the woman says that he's coming for you, and presses off your chest and slips into the crowd as everybody starts cheering and celebrating the festival, and so that catches your eye as well. Ragnar and Varys, you're still at the table. You know, Gorgel leaves, but you guys don't really necessarily notice anybody standing around that's been kind of.
Oh no, I feel like we're both getting sauced, aren't we?
Yeah, you guys are getting a little tuned in. Yeah.
So
Tying one on.
whenever I get close enough to Cal to like quietly say something, I'll just sort of nod towards the slow drinker and say, without even really saying anything, like kind of like implying, yeah, have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been watching him. He's been there for about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
He's I don't like the looks of him.
Me either. What do you think? Should we pop that zit or follow him later?
Why'd you go there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Gross.
Let's yeah.
Lundy had an awkward adolescence.
What was that? I don't. Okay.
It was John Belushi.
Hey, all of our viewers out there, by the way, I know there's a couple of you guys out there tonight. We appreciate it. Looks like we've raised an additional $40 so far on our $1,000 milestone so far, just in the first 40 minutes or so of play. So thank you guys so much for your donations. We really appreciate it. If you don't currently follow us, you can click that little purple follow heart button up there. Once we hit 100, we're going to go ahead and donate 100 to the Trevor Project, providing resources, a suicide and crisis helpline, and an agency to the LGBTQ community. We're really passionate about this project. We're going to join aside the Twitch community Pride fund this month. You can donate on the click box below. Really appreciate that. Just wanted to make sure I check back in with you all out there. We get kind of carried away. This is a great evening. It's part 3 of Clock Strike Zero, Mighty Realm Games' first original gaming module. So Ragnar and Varys, you guys are getting a little bit tuned up. Gorgel has seen himself out about 10 minutes ago. He needs to get home. He wants to meet you guys in the morning, sort of a couple hours after sunup, to take you down to the artifact shop to get you guys hooked up with some cool gifts for saving his life. Lundy and Cal, you have a little bit of a conversation discreetly, as not to distract or call too much attention to Ragnar and Varys about this individual, tall, certainly armored. It looks like he has something in the hilt, something in the sheath behind him. There's something kind of bulging around his kind of his cape and his cloak. He has this gray hair, furrowed brow. You can clearly tell he's been sort of scoping, scanning the tavern this evening. He doesn't look very friendly. He looks like he's here purposefully. Everybody else is celebrating, having fun, even including you guys to a certain extent here, and you certainly have experienced a lot in the last few days. So what do you guys do? Are you guys going to approach this individual, this tall, maybe half-elven individual? Are you going to leave it alone for the night? Well, how do you think you guys are going to do it?
That was the essence of my question to Cal.
Lundy, I think you should approach, talk to the man. I will remain hidden in the crowd, try to pick his pockets.
Sounds good. We've
Are
done
you
this
guys,
before.
what are you guys planning? Did I hear that? Before
I'll
react to that.
I'll let Ragnar and Varys say just like play it cool. Don't look at me.
Ragnar, before he takes a sip, just says, "Let me know when to hit," and just downs another ale.
Yeah, I'm looking directly at Lundy as he says, "Don't look at me," basically, and I'm just like, "What?"
Just, I'll just say like if you see Cal, then that's the time to act.
Okay, fair. Do we need to have like some sort of like, I don't know, some sort of code word, some code phrase that we should act
Winky
on?
Winkle.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, maybe something maybe we could just say as opposed because I'm not
I'll
sure I'll get like a.
so Bill, is this within earshot where this person is sitting to where our table is?
It's a very loud, crowded tavern. No, absolutely not. They were not going to be able to hear.
All right.
And it's probably 40 feet away.
How about
All
help?
right,
That
so
always seems to work.
I'll tell Varys and Ragnar, like, if you see me put my hands on my hips, that's the signal to come in.
The high sign.
All right, like can I
I am
is it-
very upset with the handle this.
How dare you, sir?
How dare you watch the party? How dare you watch the party?
Yeah,
watch
just don't
the
do
party.
I just if you have any dance moves that require that, mess up intentionally. That's the main thing.
Yeah, if you see me moonwalk, that'll-
Ooh,
Exactly.
create the
If it
moonwalk.
looks like you're in Saturday Night Fever,
hey now, I know how to strut.
Whoa. Calm down. Everybody calm down.
Slow your
All
roll.
right, Lundy, you're going over first. Cal, you're going
Yeah.
to try to discreetly sneak.
Yeah, through the crowd, and I'm not gonna try to
Okay.
pick his pocket until he's distracted by Lundy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fine. Lundy, you stand up from the table. You walk beelining over to this gentleman.
Yeah, I'm not casually doing it. I'm just walking straight up,
Yeah, you walk straight over to him.
but not aggressively or anything. Just
Sure.
like I'm pretending like I think I recognize him from some of my other journeys.
You take a sip out of your drink. You don't walk with any sense of hostility in your step or your facial expression. Cal, you slip off into the crowd. There's probably about 120 plus people in this tavern at this point. It's pretty easy for you to get lost in that shuffle. Lundy, you approach this gentleman. He has what looks like a small sort of tumbler of a brown spirit in his glass. Takes a stern sip out of it, looks away from you, and then looks back to you. What do you do? What do you say?
I say it. You look so familiar. Haven't I? I don't know. Maybe up from the mountains in the north.
Never been to the north.
Huh. That's interesting, because I could have sworn that I saw you. I don't know, maybe a year ago.
Must have
I
been a
mean,
lookalike.
Yeah? You sure? Because, that it was, I think it was like that whole wagon got tipped over, that one.
Nope, never heard of it.
Well, what's your name then? Can I buy you a drink?
Can buy me a drink? I don't have to give you my name.
All right. I actually wave at the bartender and I say, can I have a round for Surly here?
And yeah, Pinard, one of Pinard's helpers, like pushes down another glass of a tall glass of a sort of a dark spirit. And,
I don't know what this dark spirit is, so I'll ask for one for myself because I'm curious.
Okay, yeah. Pushes another one down. Bar's like 3 deep at this point, but you guys are obviously, you're pretty well known. You're kind of like VIPs in here from all of the work you've done. So, yeah, he treats you first and then gets back to the rest of the crowd, but he gives you 2 of those. It smells like very, it smells like candied almost. It smells really sweet to the nose. And you're not exactly sure what this is.
So maybe perhaps an herbal component to the, like perhaps from the mountains.
There's a little bit of a mint kind of like after scent to it, but it's definitely really sweet and almost like sugary kind of smelling.
So this person has just been sipping on it, right?
Correct.
Okay, well I'll try a sip.
It tastes a little bitter at first, and then it gets really, really bright and sort of colorful and sugary. It almost tastes like a cola or something like that. Tastes like a soda pop.
So I hand him I hand him his drink, and I'm just like, you look like you've, regardless of whether we've met before, you look like you've been around. What brings you to town?
I'm on an investigation for the king.
Which king?
He says, the King of the West, King Hurlevek.
Really interesting.
Yes.
I personally would eventually would like an audience with King Hurlevek myself and my companions.
He goes, well, you'll need to go through King Creans the Fourth first.
Well, anyway, you didn't answer my question. What brings you down here?
I told you I'm on an investigation.
Of?
That's the King's business.
Well, we're also investigating a few things around here. Perhaps we could share what we've discovered so far.
I think I'm all right. I appreciate the drink, though.
Have I noticed Cal meanwhile during all this?
Yeah, Cal, you're definitely you don't know the right moment necessarily to strike and try to loot anything off of this guy. There's a gap between you and the crowd and where the door is and where Lundy is and where this individual's positioned, and it's a little risky. It's just a little risky. You're going to have to kind of dip out through the exit door of the tavern and kind of come back in almost non-discreetly, surreptitiously, and just try to loot them on your way back in as if you were walking in like a patron just entering the establishment.
So, if I actually see Cal approaching in any kind of way, then I'll do something. But if I don't see him at all, then I'm just gonna.
You don't see him yet. Cal is hidden. He is completely hidden in plain sight. But yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to sort of sneak over to the other side of the room, and my intention is to return back to the spot that I was observing this man. But I'm going to sneak over to the other side of the room. And I've got some marbles in my pocket. I'm going to drop, awesome. 3 or 4 of them on the floor and then hurry my way back.
This is awesome. Okay. All right. You drop the marbles on the floor and they just they roll out. One of them kind of boots of one of the drunken patrons kind of kicks one and they just sort of spray everywhere and then roll across the rough-hewn, splintered, uneven floor. And then you're going to sort of double back.
Yeah. I want to see if somebody like falls or causes a commotion and the distraction.
Actually, the young woman that asked Varys for a dance actually does trip and fall on them, and it looks like she almost sprained an ankle or something. She calls out. She just slips, and the band stops playing, and the crowd sort of starts kind of clustering around her. And the Ragnar and Varys, you look. It looks like there's something going on. A bit of a commotion's breaking out.
Ragnar under his breath goes, "How's your chance, Varys? How's your chance?"
She can't dance either.
I will. Hearing this, I'll spin around and deliberately shift the table like that we're talking over. Like not exactly stumbling, but definitely, I'll act like maybe I'm staggering a little bit. But
Okay.
Is the guy's attention turned?
He definitely makes eye contact with the marbles and then the woman falling. He definitely looks a little distracted. He breaks eye contact from Lundy. You can tell that he's feeling a little bit more uncomfortable. You can tell that he has this reserved, almost constricted sort of kind of now posture to him. He's definitely a little bit more uncomfortable as he leans back closer to the wall. It'd be a good time, Cal, to jump in.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Okay, go ahead and give me a check.
That is a success. That's a 28 out of 48.
Excellent. So yeah, you roll in. You actually steal what seems like a kind of a leather pouch, almost like a little bit of a wallet, we'll call it, from him, and you just shink right back through the crowd again. More crowd dumping in through the entranceway, more crowd coming around the young woman that has tripped and fallen, and you actually hear somebody call out on your way back, like her ankle's pretty bad, it's broken. You slip back over to Ragnar and Varys with that. Lundy, you definitely do a really good job of distracting this individual, making him feel rather uncomfortable. Is there anything else you want to say to him before you?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I turn around and I say, "Oh, I don't know what that was," and I I look in the brown liqueur that I'm drinking, that he was drinking, and I was like, "So, Surly, the wagonless, what is this drink called?"
And he says, punch.
Punch. Yeah, this is some pretty super punch. Anyway, I'll
You
finish
could even
it
call it
and-
a super punch.
Yes.
Can you actually put like the pun dog in that little, that little section to the right of you, Bill? We need that.
I'll
Inside jokes
finish
that
it.
not many people are gonna get. Sorry.
Hey,
I'll finish it and give like smooth, and I'll set it down and return to our table.
Walking Dead. Is the
Yeah.
bartender Jan Amico by any chance?
Yeah. Yep. He's just.
When I get to the table, I'm feeling pretty guilty that this nice young lady has been so terribly injured by my prank.
By you losing your marbles.
I mean,
Damn it! Yeah, exactly right.
And I ask Varys, is there anything you can do? I bear some responsibility for that woman being injured. Please
well,
don't
that was you.
I look up and I go, "That's what I was saying. Now's your chance, Varys. Go, go."
But- So very reluctantly, Varys kind of like glares over at Cal for causing this sort of ruckus, and he stands up and
What?
goes over to the young lady who's on the floor. I'm imagining probably in quite a bit of pain.
By the way, as I'm approaching the table, I'm doing kind of like this, like my hands are not on my hips.
Unfortunately, the Macarena just comes on.
Hey. All right.
But no, I go up to I acknowledge. I kind of give like a nod to Lundy to make sure that I acknowledge that he isn't really of need of assistance. And I kind of go up to the lady who's on the floor and just kind of see if I can render some type of aid for her.
Okay. Yeah, you begin tending to this woman. You're definitely able to kind of say a quick recitation over her, a small prayer. You take out your holy water and you start to mend the wound and begin to deal with that.
How bad was her? How bad was it?
Pretty mangled. It definitely was broken. Or broken
I
ankle.
shoot a glance directly at Cal. I say, "Seriously?" Like under my breath.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But over the course of a moment or so, it goes down. You get it to the point where it's like a light sprain, and she actually is able, with a little bit of your help, to stand. The crowd is completely in awe. They're enamored and they are shocked. They have not seen something so wondrous. You look down actually, and your green sort of jade holy symbol is actually glowing. It's almost vibrating on your chest, and you kind of look back at them, and the girl, kind of with these kind of just hazy eyes, just gives you a kiss on the cheek and says, "That was better than a dance. Thank you." And
Better than when I can. Trust me, you don't want to see me dance.
yeah. Cool.
Varys, you can dance if you want to.
But I would
You
leave
can
my friends
your friends
behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if my friends don't dance, then
You're no friend of mine.
Yeah. And
And that's where we're at tonight.
Yeah, and that's a good time to call it, folks. Thank you so much for the
Great run.
it's been a good run. We've had some fun together for a month or so, but that's about it for us. No, hey, thanks. There are some of you out there watching. We're raising money for more great causes tonight, and through the rest of the month, we're going to be raising money for the Trevor Project. We're playing Minor Realm Games' first original module, Clock Strike Zero here. We have a couple of sessions left, right? This is part 3. We have 2 more sections ready for you, lined up for July. If you guys take a look down below this video, actually, we've made some modifications to the scheduling as well. So we'll be moving to a 5 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time start time on Sundays in July, starting with the 12th. So we'll see you guys back after the holidays for that. Cool. So our party has been within Penard's Inn. After rescuing Gorgel, Gorgel extends gratitude to you all, tells you a little bit about himself, and he lines up for you guys the opportunity to join him tomorrow morning to go to the rare artifact shop, get some gifts. Lundy and Cal, you have your eyes on something interesting, something concerning in some senses. Lundy, after your dance with a young woman who you'd never seen before and hearing a pretty ominous message whispered in your ear before she departed through the shuffle of the crowd, he's coming for you. Cal, entire time virtually locked on this gentleman in the corner of the room. Lundy, you come over, you distract when upon Cal's advice. Cal, you loot this man for his wallet, his sort of leather pouch inside of his cloak. You get back to the table. Cal, you create a distraction sort of with the marbles. Varys, you come over and help and heal this woman who fell on the marbles. Do you guys want to stay in the sort of main hall, the drinking area? Do you guys want to go up to your rooms? What do you want to do for the rest of this particular evening?
I'm inclined to go up to the rooms, but I'll go with the flow.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a cider to bring upstairs. I want to examine the contents of this pouch.
Awesome. Okay, great. Awesome. Ragnar, Varys, anything else you guys would like to accomplish while we're in the tavern here?
I think Ragnar's gonna have one more at the bar.
At the bar?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's pretty
Yeah,
crowded.
Varys is probably going to do the same. He's going to sort of say his goodbyes to the lady and kind of make his way back to the bar. It's been a long day. He's really not feeling super sociable right now.
Okay, cool. Great. So yeah, Ragnar and Varys, you join up, get another round at the bar. Lundy and Cal, you head up upstairs. Cal wants to inspect this leather pouch, this sort of wallet-looking thing.
Me too. That's part of the reason I was wanted to go back.
Yep. So yeah, Lundy and Cal, you'll head up to Cal's room up there, and you'll sit down and kind of look at the contents of this pouch. At this point, we're going to take a break a little early tonight. We'll take like a 3-minute break, guys. For those of you out there, this is Clock Strike 0. We're going to play probably until 8:30 Eastern Daylight, maybe even 9 o'clock tonight. So lots more action coming back for you when we get back to the following morning in the tavern after drinks are had and after more revelations are uncovered from the evidence. We'll see you guys in just a couple minutes. Thank you. All right, everybody, we are back. Just had to take a short break. So we are raising money all for the rest of the month here, actually for another 2 weeks or so, for the Trevor Project. We are joining the Twitch Community Pride campaign and celebration. So that is our current charity. If you want to read more about it in our campaign, you can click on the link right below this video. Thank you so much for joining us and watching the part 3 episode of Clock Strike Zero. So thus far, our adventurers have come to town. They've gotten whisked away by adventure. They've rescued a boy in town. They've befriended an old gnome who they rescued from an assassin's guild that our party has actually once encountered before they'd arrived in Blackworm. They learned a lot more about this old gnome's identity. In fact, he was a king at one time, hundreds of years ago, in the Northern Nexus, a place now that is essentially just known as the Giant's Land. And this individual apparently has more secrets and stories to tell. But he said, get some rest, enjoy the rest of your evening. He wants to regroup with them in the morning to give them some gifts for saving his life down in the sewer system on our last episode. If you guys have missed Clock Strike Zero in the past, you can check out last episode down in the video section on Twitch. That's going to be uploaded to YouTube later this week. You can catch our initial session on YouTube currently, and later this week there's going to be a ton more content that we're really excited about getting uploaded there as well. How did I do, guys? I never know how I do on these recaps. Did I do okay?
Yep, excellent.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Okay.
Oh, can I add just like one bit of thing?
I'm
like,
paying them to say that. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so one thing I wanted to do over the previous night, since we're going into the next day, if that's what we're doing, I just want to make sure I can actually have some time, about like 6 hours set aside, just to like rememorize my spells, just to get like just get to the point where I can remember how to heal again.
Yes, remember how to heal again. Also, a quick note, personally, outside of game, Happy Father's Day to those of you out there watching. Happy Father's Day to fathers, role models, and father figures in all forms out there.
Hello, Bob San Antonio.
Oh, hey. Hey, Bob San Antonio. Thanks for being a great dad. Jory's not out on that one. So,
well, you know.
Yeah.
Sins of the son can't be blamed on the father. So.
All right, guys, let's get back to it. Let's have some fun. So, Cal and Lundy, you learned from the sort of the wallet that you looted off of the individual standing in the corner of the tavern that looked a little bit suspicious. Was definitely just gave you a feeling, sort of an unnerving, unsettling sort of feeling. That he is in fact a representative of the of like sort of almost the national sort of guard for the for Ziaras. He is working for King Krantz IV on behalf of the legendary King Hurlevik Society, and his name is Halimern Treehorn. Halimern Treehorn, and so he probably wasn't lying to Lundy whenever he said that he was here to investigate something suspicious, and he didn't give you much information outside of that. Varys, you spend a little time going up to your room a little bit even earlier than Ragnar. You kind of say you're going to be all right, and then you go up to your room so you can get started on making sure that you get back to your craft and your practice. You say some prayers, you rememorize some of the spells that you need to keep handy. Ragnar, you get a little tuned in, you get a little banged up, you have a couple more ales. That's just kind of your style. You're a young guy, you're a dwarf, that's what you do. And a couple ladies along the way, you have a quick dance or two with them. You overtip a little to
let's be honest. It's more of a shuffle, not really a dance.
No, you just kind of
shuffle.
You clomp around. You're wearing full armor too. It's kind of ridiculous, and but you get drunk and you have a little fun, and you definitely triple tip your bartender. You almost overtip. You kind of look at your coin purse at the end of the night. And you're like, oh wow, okay.
God,
maybe
this sounds like a normal night for me.
You go back up and you just kind of pass out in your cot. The next morning, you guys are woken up by one of the bar hands. The famous Penard's Inn country breakfast is prepared. It is definitely far more crowded down here this morning. You can tell that you are, it is festival time, right? It's definitely more lively. It's different. It's more populated overall, crowded than typically. from what you've seen. So, the morning is bright. You have your breakfast. Gorgel greets you in the tavern, takes you outside. The streets just bustle with excitement and energy. It's rather pleasant here today. The weather's nice. It's a little warmer than usual for fall with a delicate little breeze. The perfect setting for this first day of the Harvest Festival. You can see townspeople carting wheelbarrows of wagons of fresh apples. They're carting them from the plains and the hillsides into town. You can see people with these giant, sort of casks full of cider. There's maple syrup taps that begin to be put on display. Lots of the fresh meats and vegetables and pastries are placed out along the shop corners. Pop-up trader stands, weaponry, wares, sundries, all sort of put on display. Sir Gorgel just sort of escorts you southward past the gazing pond and Blackworm, now heavily occupied by children, skipping rocks and some folks fishing. You stroll through and off of Leaf Street, sort of the main street that the vein that goes between Blackworm, and into the quaint little alleyways of the shop district. And Mr. Gorgel says that he's taking you to a place known as Valda's Vault. So you head on in. He tells you, Gorgel tells you that Suri Valda is this half-elf gentleman. He originally hails from the civilization of Sifrezi to the south. That's where you grew up, Varys. And rumor has it that he set up shop in Blackworm during the war, so during the Endless War. The antique store upon your arrival inside is a warehouse of sorts, packed to the brim as far as the eye can see, with incredible yet chaotically disheveled collections of old trinkets and wondrous extractions and ancient wares and trophies, treasures, magical items of all kind. The splintered cedar floors are covered in dust, and there are just boxes, storage boxes and shelves, broken shelves, filled with a mixture of kind of common garden variety junk and, from what your eyes can tell, incredibly and some potentially really exciting rare artifact as well. Gorgel leads you down a couple of these little sort of stacks of junk and clutter, and you find this curious and charismatic shopkeep with his Coke bottle spectacles, loop and magnifying glass over his right eye, his balding sort of liver-spotted head as he's traipsing down an adjacent narrow passageway of the stacks that over the years he's created. He seems to be, from the look on his face and his mannerisms physically, gesturing that he's looking for something that he's perhaps misplaced. Gorgel kind of turns around and looks at you all and says, "He lost it years and years ago." And Gorgel yells, "Sir, you old fool! I've brought the boys who saved my hide to meet you." You get the feeling in just a few minutes that Suri Valda, as he approaches, has been around a very long time. And Gorgel kind of whispers to you and says, "He'd rather make a bargain with an enthusiast or a fellow collector than rip any of these tourists off. Funny, though, nobody is quite sure how old he is, so just speak up, will you?" And Valda looks you all up and down, one eye comically larger than the other, in his magnifying glass and loop. His bony stature less than intimidating from what you typically are used to dealing with in your lines of work. Curvature in his sort of decaying, decrepit spine, and he says, "Well then, I don't much care to stand around here at all. Come to me office, mates."
It's nice to meet you, I say, like very, very loudly.
And he says, "There's meat in town. Come to me office."
Okay,
that's good.
thank you.
Well, I'll follow to the office.
Yeah, I follow to the office as well. I feel like I'm not going to get anywhere to try to talk with this man.
Valda,
I want a red stapler.
Ragnar's gonna follow, but kind of like a child, just kind of look around, see if you can find any cool-looking weapons or shields or anything like that.
Oh yeah, there's cool stuff. There's not a lot of weaponry in here. You see some stuff behind counters and hung up high on the walls of the warehouse.
I mean, it's not that I need it, Bill, but Like, does Lundy happen to notice like any bows or arrows or anything?
There are, like, again, they're sort of up high on walls behind counters. Like, this place is huge. It's probably several thousand square feet. It's a really tall sort of warehouse with these kind of subflooring and wooden beams all around, and just lots and lots and lots of stacks of junk and papers and trinkets and things.
Yeah, I feel a bit like Tom Hanks' character in Big. At the moment.
Yeah. So you all see some things of interest, but kind of, it's like one of those things, right? You're at like a flea market or an old antique shop, and oh, that looks cool, and you get up close to it, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's old and junky and dirty and probably doesn't have much value to it. And that's kind of the way he has a lot of stuff displayed. It seems like he's taking you back through these kind of stacks of belongings and items and wares for sale to get to his office. His office represents that personality and that lack of style and aesthetic that he goes for in the way that he keeps the shop. There's just boxes, papers, just a mess of like rocks and gemstones and different little gold and tin little artifacts looking like paperweights almost across his desk. He just kind of shuffles a few things and sits behind his desk, kind of plops down and opens up a drawer. And he says, I heard you took care of my friend. He says, I've given good attention to these for some time, and instead of selling them during the festival, I feel it more appropriate for them to go to you. And he takes out this little wooden box, and in the wooden box are 4 of these little vials of sort of this dark red, almost purple sort of dyed elixir or potion. And Gorgel says, these are adventurers after all. That's what I told him. I told him you all were worthy, brave adventurers. And he says,
I actually cock an eyebrow at Gorgel given our initial conversation about what he thought about adventuring.
And yeah, he and Gorgel just smiles and kind of rests his hands over his cane. And Valda basically tells you that these are potions of healing. And you guys, what you guys need to know is that they're good for 3d8 plus 3. 3d8 plus 3 mechanically. So these are pretty powerful and rare.
What color is it again?
It's just almost burgundy sort of color.
It's burgundy. So it's like a fine wine.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of look at them with a bit of
it's
half apprehension, but half also just complete awe.
It's like the color of my wine, kind of.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And I ask, is very slowly and very loudly as I can. Did you make this?
Nope. Trader came in here. We struck a deal. I've been trying to sell them, but I don't think anyone understands how much they're worth exactly.
Well, this is quite the offer. Thank you.
Well, I actually say, what can we do for you?
Nothing at all. Just keep this old man safe. He's a friend of mine.
Well, he's been keeping us safe as well.
He says, I do have something else for you, but I need you all to make the decision of who wants to take it. I only have one. I'm sorry. He says, it's in my desk. He kind of leans down and opens up the bottom drawer and takes out a small one, looks like jewelry box. It's blue, sort of this cobalt sort of color. It's got this velvety kind of texture on it. And he pops it open. And inside is a silver ring with sort of this sort of stripy kind of engraved blue and sort of gold texture, this wavy sort of line in it. And he says, this here is a ring of influence. It's a very powerful item. You have an ability to charm another with this ring. But beware, it is no ordinary ring of influence. It is slightly flawed. I have not been able to sell this either.
Flawed how?
Well, I find that its flaws make the item more interesting. The flaw is that if used carelessly or with the wrong persons, the charm may affect the wearer instead of the target. And others would disagree that it makes this item more rare. I find it to be unique.
Yeah, one thing you never want to hear the GM say: the flaws make it more interesting.
So,
It's not the
Lund-
GM saying it. It's Surrey Volta. All right, Dave.
Oh, okay, come on.
Actually, I'll just go ahead. Lundy will take the ring, but in so doing, look straight at Varys and say, "What do you think? Who should have this?"
I kind of glance over at Cal a little bit, and
I mean, he's more like in the shadows typically.
but at the same time, when he's I'd be concerned. I'm concerned about his well-being. He's it doesn't anything that he can do to prevent others from hurting him would be influential, I think. Plus, I would just like to see what kind of trouble he could get into with it. That was actually I was actually quite impressed with him the other night.
I guess it could be useful if somebody ever catches me with my hand in their pocket.
Exactly. That which may happen from time to time. I know that you're quite good, but
Yeah.
I was actually, like I said, I was quite impressed last night. I didn't think that you could have do that.
Cal, roll me an intelligence check, please. Let's get some dice rolling, gentlemen.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna try to leave 20 gold and sneakily put it, but I failed my dex check. So
Yeah.
So you just like slam it down.
it's gonna be quite obvious, but I was trying to be sneaky.
As you try to do that, Gorgel grabs your wrist at your coin purse at your side as you're sitting on a stool in the corner of the office. He's sitting very close to you, and he just looks at you like, "Don't do that. It would be rude."
Yeah, so that was a success. That's a 7 under 15.
Yeah. So you actually are pretty aware of what a ring of human influence, the proper terminology, might be able to do, and that typically grants the wearer a charm or suggestion spell. This one, though, the current purveyor has admitted that it has flaws, so you know that you assume some risk in wearing it, but this might, too, sort of from your perspective, lend itself to some creative evasion technique.
I was gonna say earlier, like when we're petitioning, say a king, for example. Like, what's the best tactical use of this?
If I understand correctly, it eventually wears off, and then they are aware of that. So Lundy, using this against a king would probably be a mistake that you wouldn't soon make again.
Yeah. All right. Well, if
I think
Cal,
that
if Cal is interested, then I'll let Cal have it.
Yeah, I just think it's good for quick. If you need to get away, or if you need to do something very quickly and then get away, I think it's fantastic for that. That'd be my.
Yeah, don't use on the most powerful man in the realm.
No, that was just
Probably not a good
just
idea.
an example, but like let's say a border agent.
Cal could use it that way as well. I think that either way is fine.
You just got like convince like TSA to wear like masks, for example.
Fantasy. Let's back into fantasy.
Escapism.
So is it a single use sort of a device, or is it?
No, it just requires sort of recharges. It has sort of temporary stages of effect.
Yeah.
It
Well,
gets
I'm happy to
tired.
take it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Do you want to wear it?
And also Lundy, I also have the command spell, so I basically have the ability of doing it myself. Otherwise,
I mean, based on my knowledge of this, would I know of any ill effects that might come from wearing a ring?
No. No.
Okay. Then I'll put it on.
Okay. Cool.
So, I'll ask. Cal's the one that knows about it. I'll ask him if it's something that you have to will to happen, or if it just automatically happens, like when you're trying to convince someone of something.
Yeah. So typically, you're actually evoking a spell of some kind. So you're invoking a particular
All right.
process, a suggestion or a charm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen if I'm having a casual conversation.
No.
All right. So,
That'd be really funny though. If we're in the middle of a conversation, you're like, "Are you gonna have that?" I'm just like, "No, I'm not."
They're not the droids you're looking for.
Okay, so yeah, Sir Valda, the old man that maintains this shop, says, have a look around, but these are all I have for you today. I thank you again for helping Mr. Gorgel.
I'll ask him, like, hey, you wouldn't happen to have a, like high quality bow, would you? Like, cause mine's pretty good. I don't have any complaints, but
Ragnar says, I do.
Yeah, like I actually point to the hole in my cloak, and just very silently.
We can only hope it was the bow.
He he says, I might be able to help you with that. He goes out of the office for a minute, stands up, and sort of just hobbles over outside, and he kind of leaves for a couple minutes, and Gorshel says, everyone mind your manners, okay? And he comes back in with a pretty nice long bow. It's pretty well crafted, and it definitely looks better than yours, Lundy. He says, this is the only bow I have that fits the description at this moment.
Well, I say, please, like, if I can offer you some coin for that, then I'd be glad to take it.
He looks at Gorgel and he says, I would have to charge 60 gold for this piece.
I will drop 20 on that. I will give you 20 gold, so I don't get caught anymore.
I'll slide 80 across and not say anything about it. Just like,
okay. All right.
And I'll take that bow.
And he says, in exchange for your bow as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He says, okay, well then. And he just takes your bow, gives you this bow. It's a +1 to your to hit.
Thank God.
Cal takes a meaningful glance at the pile of gold that you slide across the table. Been holding out, Lundy.
Oh.
Hey, it's good to be the king.
Whoops.
I mean, you're welcome.
No, I don't. Lendy doesn't actually say that. He's just like, I'm parsimonious and frugal. You know how I am. Especially at bars.
Sure, Lundy.
Gorgel says, well, we must leave Mr. Valda to his work today. There are many guests here for the festival.
Before I go, do you happen to have? Do you happen to have any holy water, perchance? It's probably not the exact place I should get it, but I am running a little bit low.
He looks. He takes Valda. He puts down his sort of second glass where his loop is. He takes a careful look over your holy symbol across your chest. Ah, yes. He goes, I'll be right back. He kind of walks out of the office again for a minute, and he comes back with a little black sort of pouch, and inside of it is a vial of holy water. And he says, 10 gold.
Oh, easily done. And pass over the 10 gold. And
yeah, it's about double the amount that you had, and he says, this is special holy water. This is specifically holy water meant for a deity and the worship of the goddess of fertility.
You do know your stuff, don't you, my friend? I appreciate this, and I'll assure you it goes to good use. Thank you.
There's something special about you, young man. I know that. I wanted to make sure I got you the right item.
Thank you.
I'm going to tend to my customers, have a look around or feel free to enjoy yourselves at the festival today.
Ragnar's gonna look for some raw Remlinite, just see if he has any stock.
Yeah, Ragnar, on like you guys kind of do your kind of split up and you kind of move through the, traipsing the little pathways and the stacks and looking over some of the display counters and the shelving around this massive sort of like mini mall, we'll call it, of rare artifacts and trinkets and junk. And you don't see any Remlinite. And that doesn't necessarily shock you. You're actually sort of happy to see that Remlinite's not just sitting out somewhere on display here for triple or, more than the price tag, like an old sports card or something like that. It's a pride of your people that it doesn't end up in a place like this. So pretty interesting. Pretty interesting to you, not necessarily shocking, but you're kind of happy that it didn't come across that way.
I will. I'll at some point, if I catch Cal's eye, I'll sort of like cock my eyebrow at him, and I say, like, look, man, we're running a company here. If you need something besides that ring, just let me know.
Noted. Cal's also just sort of browsing to see if anything catches his eye.
Yeah.
Like oddities or, nothing specific, just.
Well, Cal, you're sort of a bookworm. And you definitely, something catches your eye in the library section of Volda's Vault. And it is a very rare, probably 500 to 700-year-old book. The Tome of Ancient Demonology. The Tome of Ancient Demonology. And it looks pretty tattered, about the condition that you might expect it to be in. It's got a thick black leather cover on it. The pages are browned, and they've weathered certainly a lot of wear over the centuries. But it's sitting there, and you've never come across one.
Yeah, Cal's pretty excited that he picks up the book.
Yeah,
carefully.
Yeah.
How big is it?
It's probably 400 or 500 pages. It's a pretty thick book. You know that it's got some demonic scripture in it, as well as some ritual spells and incantations in it as well. It will take a long time to gain any sort of mastery from it, but there's a lot of interesting knowledge that you can gain by reading it. What do you want to do? Do you want to go up to one of the shop hands or Volda himself and see if you can purchase it?
I'll go up to Volda and see about purchasing it.
Volda is sort of stumbling around. It looks like he's selling some gemstones to a young customer, perhaps a traveler that has come into town for the fall festival, and he says, "Oh, Mr. Greenglass. Oh, that's an interesting tome you have there. Good taste. I can part with it from me shop for 2 gold."
Gladly, I hand over the 2 gold.
Yeah, you know it's worth a lot more than that, even in this condition. And he says, "For you, a man of such good taste, well, I would be ignorant to not allow you to set your eyes upon those pages. It's a good read, real page turner."
I can't wait.
He says, "Enjoy it, son, but be careful. That is a powerful book."
It's good to know, sir. I appreciate it.
Anything else you guys would like to do in Volda's Vault here?
I think I'm done.
Unless you have like a mace I can afford, that'd be a +1. But
Yeah, not a lot of weaponry in here. It's
think
just
so.
not that sort of shop. Not that sort of shop.
But before we go out, though, I do want to go over to Mr. Gogel and just kind of, if I can, just try to shake his hand and just explain to him that the favors, and I say specifically, favors are often exchanged for me in kind and vice versa. And I fear and I hope that if we're in need in the future, that you will be able to assist us, as we will be glad to assist you. Let us keep this relationship and this friendship going. Your words of loyalty are not lost on me.
Of course. Thank you, my son. You're a good boy.
You're a good man.
You
And
all
Ragnar says, "You saved the life of a dwarf. Now I must repay that favor." In response to what Vera says, and you are now our ongoing ally. Like we're here for you. We'll protect you. I'll protect you.
Lundy doesn't say this out loud, but he hears what Varys said and kind of rolls his eyes and thinks to himself, like, yes, and come spring, we'll be looking forward to the summer of love.
Utility.
Yeah, so you have this moment with Gorgel, and it's sort of nice, and the music outside just draws louder and louder. Gorgel sort of nods, and he's patient, and he's kind, and he's gentle with you, but he's not necessarily being sort of reserving any of his reaction. You can just kind of tell this is just his overall demeanor, and that he really necessarily maybe isn't respectful of adventurers, but there's something about your group, there's something about what you've done here in this town and how you've affected his life that has moved him in a certain extent, and he's happy to oblige you in continuing on the relationship. So as you leave sort of the shop on the way back to town, you can tell that the excitement of sort of the festival has really kicked off. The celebration's well underway. The music in the streets and the crowd is rather loud. You can hear sort of echoes and waves through the residence district and the shop district. The streets are far more energized and populated than you've seen in your last few days here. And back on Leaf Street, you catch the pop-up market tents in Clockcourt Square. Gorgel says he'd like to buy you all lunch at a really lovely spot north in the shop district. On the way back, you see a few children sort of run by playing with what resembles like a frisbee, like a disc game that they're tossing around. Wagons of more traders roll past as there more and more people moving to set up their own pop-ups in here, with the clumps of the Clydesdales clacking against the beautifully cleaned cobblestone. Rawlings McSpeech Jr., the founder's son that you've heard about, mayor of Blackworm, sits atop a carriage, and he's parading around sort of greeting residents. He's a wiry, young, pale blonde kid when you get a good look at him, maybe 20 years of age, as you were told. Plenty of servants and guard around him. Nonetheless, you continue to press onward, and that's when something really sort of creepy and very eerie happens here on this wonderful, happy, warm day. All of a sudden, disrupting the peace of the moment, everyone hears it at once, and perhaps it doesn't affect you as much, but the residents of this town are certainly attuned with every frequency wave. But the long condemned an abandoned clock tower clicks, and the bell tolls thrice, chiming quite loudly, sending not only the reverberation of its mighty resonant bell through the streets of Blackworm, but with it a vessel carrying fear, curiosity, intrigue, and tremor, a shiver down the spines of many of those that have lived here through its lifetime. The sky goes from blue and sunny and partially cloudy to gray all over the course of just a moment or so, and a wind kicks up. And just 150 feet ahead, near a crowded area of the town in Clockcourt Square, where pop-up sort of tents are in the market, you hear screams of townspeople, and you see dozens and dozens of people fleeing all of a sudden. And
Run to the noise immediately.
You run to the noise immediately. Okay. What do the rest of you guys do?
Ragnar's gonna follow and actually
Yep.
try to lead, to just because he's the one who normally, yeah.
Lundy will shake his head and say, fuck,
Yeah.
and follow.
Gorgel tries to keep up, not as fast as you guys, but he's on the same step.
That's like The Witcher, by the way. That's the sort of fuck I said. So.
Right.
That's the Matt Sisk fuck. Oh, when you roll a 1. Oh, fuck.
All right.
I hope everybody agreed to the mature setting that's now been attached to the Clock Strike Zero on Twitch. So
We have passed
'cause-
the
'cause
allowed 8 fucks.
I was gonna say because I think we're over them now. So, and then Cal, finally, I'm sure that you are gonna try to keep up. Are you doing anything sort of strategically in this moment?
I'm just trying to keep up and hang back enough that I can make some strategic decisions before being drawn into whatever's happening.
Fair
To
enough.
get that non-lethal backstab.
Right. Yeah. Go for the Achilles
To
tendon.
cut people at the Achilles. Get them where it matters. Right
No,
now,
I'm
where
pretty
it
sure that
hurts.
guy is dead. For what it's worth, we just left him in the
Oh
sewer.
yeah, he's definitely dead, or he's just horribly like sick and disgusting right
it
now.
was
The rats got him.
Yeah.
yeah, it was a very dishonorable, long, and painful death in the sewers. No,
But I just want to I just like a little bit of color. My intention basically is to run up until I see what's going on, and then I'll probably stop to take stock of what's happening.
Yep, and that's exactly what we're getting to. Varys, you get there sort of first, but you stop as Ragnar clumps past you. Varys, you see it. There are at least 6 giant wasps. They're huge. I mean, they are huge. They are probably 4 or 5 feet in height with a 6 to 7 foot wingspan. And they are swarming around the front of the clock court, and they are trying to sting and chase and assault innocent townspeople. You take stock of all of this sight. Ragnar, you pull out Retribution, and you continue to just charge on in. Let's roll for initiative.
I was gonna say Ragnar's not allergic, apparently. So
The fact that we're actually doing murder wasps right now.
Yes.
Oh right, yeah, nice, timely, right?
Yeah.
You said 6 feet wingspans.
Yeah, they're huge. I mean, they're really big.
That's like my personal worst nightmare.
Yeah. If you
Bill's
did-
really good at that. Like he knows spiders is what sets me off.
yeah.
So now he knows. You should have never admitted that because now he knows. Now he knows.
Yeah. Wasps are dicks. How big are the
How big are the words you can use, there, JP?
how big are the pointy bits?
They're probably 6 to 8 inches. The stinger alone, long, sticking out of the tail end of them, curled up. And yeah, they are going after townspeople. You can see a couple people have fallen from stings already. The weird thing about them as we get into initiative here is they're sort of flickering a little bit, and I mean that there's white light around them, and they almost are translucent in a way at first, and then they kind of completely seem to materialize, coming out of nowhere, almost. So where are my 0s and 1s?
Hey Bill, is there if they're having any kind of physical contact with the villagers, is that happening at all?
Yeah,
And,
no, they're
people
stinging
are-
people.
okay.
Yes, they're stinging people. Yeah.
And all right, my thought there being, are they illusions?
No, they're stinging and biting people and flapping their wings at people and knocking people over. So, yeah, absolutely. We are in a place now where they're attacking. They're here physically. So, 2, Ragnar, you go up first. Townspeople basically scatter, and I'll just throw up this sort of this little market display here on the screen for our Twitch viewers. You kind of rush into this area that's just kind of south of the clock tower area, where a couple of them seem to have clustered, sort of gathered. There are 4 of them immediate to you. 2 of them begin to sort of fly away by about 20 feet, chasing some of the townspeople off. What do you do, Ragnar?
I'm gonna approach the closest one, and I rolled a nat 20.
Oh, hey.
So I'm gonna do what I did last stream, and that's $20.
Nice. Nice.
But I'm gonna target its stinger first and foremost to try to take off that little hunk of abdomen and kind of render it not dangerous.
Okay.
So it's gonna be 1d8. I'm assuming these are they large creatures?
They are medium sized.
Medium?
Yeah, medium sized. Good
So
question.
it's gonna be 6 damage to the stinger.
You just destroy it, right? You go
okay.
you go for the stinger, but you realize you got kind of a full grip on this thing, and you come up through the stinger initially and just go right up sort of through the midsection, the thorax of this thing, just kind of slash it on open, and it just you take it down, and it falls in 2 pieces to the ground.
I will then use if I have remainder of movement, I'm gonna try to close the next one just to like.
And that is where they will swarm you, Ragnar.
I figured.
Yes. On anybody else on 3, by the way?
It's always bees.
Okay.
Not the bees.
Okay. 2 of them actually do manage to make some contact with you, and one of them is.
We're not fully held. Shit.
No, you're not.
I was playing fifth head right there.
One is going to sting you for 5 damage. Another is going to sting you for 3 damage. Another one's going to come back in for another sting for 5 damage, and you are now poisoned.
Wait a minute. One of them didn't have a barb.
No, there were
Nope.
4.
That one got
sorry.
destroyed.
There were
Sorry.
4 there,
Yeah,
2
right.
others already left. And you are now poisoned, as well as taking that total damage. So that's 13
Well,
damage.
you guys better
and
kill him
poison.
quick.
So yeah, they bzzz, now the buzzing is just rattling kind of around, and they are swarming in on you, Ragnar. You killed one of them. There's 3 left. One of them misses you altogether. One of them stings you twice. The other stings you once. Really jabbing deep, penetrating kind of by the collarbone area past the armor, where the others are kind of just tinging and barely hitting you. And this one really gets you good and sends more poison. Right, more giant insects, more poison into the bloodstream for Ragnar Wartooth.
But not illusions. So.
But not illusions. Right. So who are my 4s? All right, Cal, what do you do?
So we're in we're at the base of the clock tower.
So you're about 35 feet from the clock tower at this point, in this little kind of pop-up and kind of shop district corner here at the edge of Leaf Street.
So yeah, I'm gonna glance at the tower up and down to see if there's any activity on it.
There is the kind of hour. There's only one hand on this clock, and it's kind of vibrating up in the kind of noon position. And there is a kind of lightning, green and blue and red, that is just kind of forming around the top of the tower at the peak of the sort of the obelisk of the higher structure.
Okay, and then I'm gonna try to hit one of those wasps with my sling.
Come on in, let's do it.
I need to pull up my. So that is. That will hit an armor class 13.
Yeah, that ain't gonna do it. You just kind of through all the commotion and the chaos, you fire a bullet from your sling, and it just goes off into nothing. It goes off into nothing. You want to take any additional movement? You want to get tactically sort of anywhere in town around these folks in the market square here?
I'm gonna get closer to the clock tower just to see if there's
Okay.
anything up close that strikes that draws my attention.
Yeah.
Strikes like 0, for example.
5 and 6. 7's. Oh, okay. Whoa. Okay.
6 as well.
Six
Go
is-
ahead first.
Go ahead,
Lundy.
Lundy.
Yeah, I'm gonna whip out my shiny new bow, and
I'm gonna duck.
I'm gonna try to peg one of the wasps in the thorax.
Okay.
And afterwards, regardless of what happens, I'm gonna also head towards the tower.
Okay.
If Lundy makes this shot and hits, I will donate $20.
All right. Yeah. No,
Mike-
I'll get on that. If Lundy actually hits on his first, I'll donate 20 as well.
I love that Varys and Lundy are like a doubles tennis like team right now. Where like Varys is just ducking to not get hit by the serve.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm McIntyre Bjorn. I don't know.
I'm definitely Bjorn.
It's a 1. It's a 1.
Oh, God.
It's a 1, isn't it?
It's a natural one. Yeah.
It's a
Oh
natural
no.
1.
Oh, fuck it.
Okay. All right.
Throw
on the-
away those dice, Lundy. Like seriously, just throw
On
away.
the
Dude, I'm not even using the same ones. I'm
on
picking
the
different ones every
on
time.
the
Roll
die.
So
a
that's your
different
problem.
hand.
That's your problem. We've discussed this. Stick
Yeah.
with the same dice.
Oh my
Ride
god.
that wave through.
So I'll go ahead and I'll donate still, regardless, because I want to make sure I get my. By the way, $181 so far, guys, tonight for the Trevor
thank you.
Project. So thank you guys so much. $181 from zero. That's pretty
It
cool.
would be $200 if Lundy had made that shot.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna throw
Shame.
some cash on
Shame.
that. But I rolled my die of doom over here. It's not pretty. Ragnar, you are hit in the back of the nape of your neck with an arrow, and you take an additional 6 damage.
Whose side are you on, Lundy?
Yeah. Good God. And then Varys, your turn.
Well, whatever I was gonna do, I know that Ragnar is like he's on death's door at this point in time. So I'm gonna go up to him and actually I'm gonna give him that healing potion I just got.
He has one of his own.
Yeah, I was saying, you each got one.
And I will have to actively drink it. So
Right. Right.
He'll just hold it until next turn.
a
Yeah.
little meta, you might just want to heal me.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna make it around to drink it
Okay,
myself. I'm
well, I
just
mean,
gonna
like it's
let you,
5
like-
segments for me to cure light wounds.
Yeah.
So
It's-
all right, okay, I'll cast.
Start
Cure
it
Light
now.
Wounds then.
Yeah, start it now. So we're
Yeah.
on round 6, so that will trigger on round 1
One.
of next
That works.
next combat round. So, or on segment 1, excuse me, of next combat round. You guys know what I meant. Viewers at home, house rules, AD&D, OSR, look it up. Varys, you're going to go ahead and you cure light wounds. You're going to start preparing that as you walk up to Ragnar. You're now sort of just totally encompassed and engulfed in the just wretched cacophony of these buzzing noises and the flapping of the wings. It's like that sensation when you know that there's something sort of a patch like right by your ear and you hear that buzz go right through your ear canal. It's like that, but it's deafening. It's rattling. 7s and 8s, 9s and 10s. Gorgel is going to go ahead and slip into the action as well. He runs up as fast as he can. He's catching up, and he's using his cane to actually swat at one of the others that are chasing the townspeople, and he gives that one a good knock, hitting it for 2 hit points over on the opposite side of the market square, closer to the clock tower, mind you. So that seems to be where these things are chasing these people over to. All right, let's roll for initiative. New round.
Gorgel is pretty much just. I view him as Crazy Yoda right now, with just
Yeah.
like the.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's exactly what he's doing.
Not as cute as Baby Yoda.
Well, you can't get cuter than that. Let's just be honest.
0s and 1s. All right. On 1, Cure Light Wounds takes effect on Ragnar. Go ahead and roll for those hit points, Varys.
Ooh, that's a good one. 6. Get 6 HP back.
Good times. Good times. Who are my 2s?
Erased Lundy's treacherous arrow.
Right?
Yes.
I hope he's ashamed. I hope-
Wait. So, Bill, where did I get hit?
You got hit like right on the nape of your
Okay.
neck, right above your cape.
I was gonna quote Forrest Gump there for a second.
You know, there's a reason why people follow me into battle. Because they don't want me behind them.
Nice.
Precisely.
Where are my 2s? No 2s? Okay, cool. Varys. One of the wasps attempts to sting you. That's not going to hit. The second one will. That's going to hit you for 4 damage. No poison. No poison. It just kind of gives you a slight sting. Barely penetrates the armor. Ragnar. Another one does actually hit you, and that's going to be for 2 damage. 2 damage. And you are not feeling hot. You'll take an additional 1 damage from that poison that's now surging through you as well. The wasps over, but by the way, the other wasp is sort of flapping and just sort of kind of flying back from the situation. And the two others that Gorgel is chasing, he's encountered with. We'll roll for posterity. Oh shit. Okay, so one of them actually is going to hit Gorgel for some pretty massive damage, and it actually sends Gorgel to the ground. It stings him a couple of times, and that's about 35 feet off to you guys west. Clock tower perspective, about 25 feet to the northwest. You guys are over in that eastern section right now and clustered. Cal, probably back about, what would you call it, Cal? About 50 feet from the encounter site where Ragnar and Varys are, or so, give or take?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Okay, and then Lundy a little bit further back behind that.
But I mean, I did say I was heading towards the clock tower last time. So.
Sure. So yeah, but you were still sort of further back whenever you shot your arrow. Okay. Now you're kind of going that northwest direction.
After demonstrating my prowess.
Yeah. So 3s and 4s. Okay, Ragnar, what do you do, buddy?
Can I disengage and take a potion, or how's the action economy here?
You can flee. Yes, you can use your turn to flee.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Unless are there ones actively on me right now?
Yes.
Yeah, then I'm gonna flee.
Okay. And what's your rear armor class? Is that a 4?
It is. Where's that? Sorry.
Yeah, how do you determine that actually, based upon your regular AC?
I just got a front one.
Okay, so yeah, let me go ahead and just take a quick look at Ragnar's. Okay, it won't hit regardless. So
gotcha.
it won't hit as you flee. It tries to sting you in the back. You actually run. You want to use your full movement?
Yeah.
Okay, and which direction are you running to?
I love how basically, like, you just see Ragnar run directly into battle and immediately
then
just run
fuck
directly.
It's a Han Solo. It's a Han Solo
exactly
right there.
He's all puffy and stung up and poisoned.
I'm running where we came from, just trying to bolt as far as I
get in the opposite direction. Got it. Okay, where are my 4s, 5s?
I'm a 5.
Okay, Lundy, what do you want to do?
Well, I'm gonna make it rain again, and try
all
to
the worst ways.
Try to. So Cal, you're closer to the clock tower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm basically still heading towards Cal, but I'm gonna try and pin a wasp.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you take some movement and you stop to take the shot.
And.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big moment. Can Lundy Belcamp actually range? He left
out of frame.
He left frame. What is
going on? It was not a natural 1. It was a 2.
Oh my. Wow.
What dice are you rolling? Are you rolling a D20?
Are you rolling a D4?
Are you flipping a coin, Matt?
I'm donating.
So that would be a 3, given my magical bow.
I'm donating $100 to the Trevor Project. So it's gonna be $100. All right, I'm donating $100 to the Trevor Project. If on Matt's next turn in his next round, in the next round of combat, he still doesn't make contact. A 2 does not hit. Anything. It doesn't even hit, as Mike Lennox said, the broadside of a barn.
No, wait, McKellanox. Let's get it right, guys.
McKellanox wants to know what the AC of a broadside of a barn is. Well, it wouldn't matter, Mike, because Matt can't hit it. So, Lundy.
On the fairness, he did actually miss this time, which is good.
Lundy, was that with the +1? So that's a 3 total?
No, the dice roll was a 2.
So yeah, 3 total. Yeah, wow, woof. It just hits nothing. Where were we at initiative then? 5, 6s.
You hit nothing.
I think it was 5.
Yeah, so 7s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s.
I'm an 8.
I'm a 9.
Varys.
If there's any gift makers out, can you take the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and just make you hit nothing?
I said good day.
Yes. Varys, what do you want to do?
So I'm actually gonna run towards Mr. Gogel, and I'm not sure if I can get there. Like, I'm not sure You said it was like 35 feet away. I'm not sure what my running speed is.
Yeah, no. Let me. Let's take a double check just really quickly. I think you can get there. I'm pretty sure you can get there. Yeah. No, you can get there.
Okay, that'd be awesome. So I want to, first of all, is he alive? Is he something? Can I actually?
He's breathing,
revive
but he
him?
does not look good. He got stung up pretty good taking those 2 on by himself.
Yeah, so I want to cast Cure Light Wounds on him as well.
Okay.
To see if I can bring back up. So I think that would be on 3. It would probably go off.
What are we on, 6?
8.
Well,
No,
well-
excuse me. Yeah, we're on 6.
Yeah,
You're right.
we're- yeah,
on
so
6.
we're on
So they'll
s-
be at 1 again.
Yep, it'll be on 1 again. Yep. So yeah,
No, we're on 8 because Cal, you're on 9, right? You're
Yeah.
on 9.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
we're
were-
on 8.
Yeah, we are thinking of last round. That's right. Yeah, no, we are on 8, so that's right. It'll be on 3.
3.
3. Yep. Okay,
Yep.
cool. Yep. So you begin preparing Cure Light Wounds on Gorgel. Cal, what do you want to do?
There's cast EpiPen.
All right. So the wasps are distant now, right? Fairly distant.
So they are kind of actually chasing Ragnar and Varys a little bit, and they are clustering around now the site of where Varys is healing. Gorgel.
Let's just set up this scene. We are at full-on adventures, and I'm just like
and running from
with these
giant
wasps chasing me.
And I'm like a field medic, basically, just like running, diving through things.
Yep. Yeah.
Bugs, big bugs, big bugs.
Townspeople are scattering. The wasps are chasing the people that were attacking them. Yes. Cal,
Ragnar comes in all badass. And
it's a
within
pretty
3
chaotic
seconds,
scene.
he's-
You could make a run for it to the clock tower. You could continue to use your bullet and sling, and defending
Where's the fireball when you need it?
defending the party from some of the giant wasps. What do you want to do?
How far is the clock tower?
It's about 25 feet to your north.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try one more shot.
Okay.
And then probably make my way to the clock tower.
Okay.
That hits an armor class 7.
That will not hit. That will not hit. It barely grazes one of the wings of the wasp that are now kind of circling around Ragnar as he's running, as he's fleeing from these things. They have a pretty strong and persistent fly speed. You kind of try to take the one out of air, but you miss. Your eyes are focused on all that static and electricity and arcanic energy up around the clock tower. Do you just want to book it from here?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna use
Okay.
the rest of my movement and go to the tower.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. All right, and then we'll go to tens, and that is the round. So roll for initiative. Roll for initiative. D10s. Lower the better for those of you watching at home. That's the way we do this game. Hey, thank you guys for helping us raise some more money. So we are actually at, oh geez, somebody do quick math. We are over $2,000 easily now in charities and fundraising over just the last 4 weeks. You guys have helped us raise $181.28 already for the Trevor Project in our first night. We have several games, happy hour, seminars, sessions coming up. We have more opportunity to share stuff out to help us raise money for great causes. We are joining Twitch Community Pride Celebration 2020, and you guys are joining right along. I hope you're having a great time watching Clock Strike Zero's original module, Minor Realm Games original module, Clock Strike Zero. Boy, long weekend as I continue to do this and just talking to the void. But you guys know what I mean. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching us. So we have a pretty dire situation in front of us for those of you that are just tuning in. The weather has changed. The festival has been disturbed. These wasps, giant wasps, have appeared out of nowhere. The clock tower is surging with arcanic energy and electricity. The storm, a sort of a cataclysm source, is brewing out over the plains. Our party is getting stung up and poisoned. Mr. Gorgel, the old and wise gnome that's befriended our adventurers, is down. Varys is over top of him, desperately trying to make sure that he can cure his wounds. Ragnar is poisoned, and he is still taking damage from stings. Lundy can't hit anything with even his new and more well architected bow. And Cal is making his way due north to the clock tower. So where are we at on initiative? Who are my zeros and ones for round 3? Cal, what do you want to do?
One. Yeah. So, am I at the tower?
You are at the tower.
Is there a door?
There are 2 very large, ovular doors in an archway.
Do they like have a lock? Is there any?
They look to be locked by a keyhole and a bolt that is inside of this sort of wooden door, perhaps barred on the inside.
Okay. And are there any windows?
None from where at your stature you can see from. They're probably up about 8 or 9 feet from the street level, from the cobblestone. Stained glass windows, and then above that, square wooden box frame windows.
Yeah. Because I'm assuming this door is probably barred.
Yeah, the building has long since been condemned, as you know. So
I'm gonna try to climb up to the frame window and.
Okay. All right. In that case, go ahead and give me a climb check.
That's a success. That's 52 under 69.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
So, you start climbing the stonework of the old clock tower, and you get up to one of those box windows, and you peer inside. It's really dusty and sort of dingy. It looks like there's actually a bookcase that's been broken that is like obstructing half of your view in through the window. You try to lift the window to see if it opens?
Yeah.
Yeah, you take an arm and you lift it, and the thing opens. It opens right up at what you would presume to be the second floor near the mezzanine of the clock tower.
Yeah, so I'm gonna drop in.
Yeah, you roll on inside. This archonic energy and these gusts of wind, stone and debris, and dirt, just sort of swirling around you, almost tornadically, outside of the clock tower, and you fall and flop into this abandoned floor that at one time looked like a study. You know that from what you've heard historically, that there used to be banks in here, trading sort of areas. That they used to have an area of worship for the Zioran Pantheon, all sorts of stuff. So you imagine you're in some little study or some kind of area that used to be a bookkeeping sort of office. Lots of old books and broken library stacks. Okay, so that's what we're still in combat with the wasps outside. That was Cal's turn. All of that was Cal's turn. So where are we at for 2s and 3s? Lundy.
I am going to change tactics because of the lightning and everything.
Okay.
That's exactly.
I am going to shoot an arrow directly into the face of the clock.
Okay. All right.
It's probably a useless exercise, assuming I hit it.
Right.
Oh, God. So, what do I do?
Go ahead and roll.
Do I roll
Yeah.
to see if I hit a clock?
Yes.
And
you
he
have
hit
to
the
roll.
broadside of a clock tower.
Good.
you
To
don't-
see if I strike a clock?
Yeah, you don't hit anything, so you yes, you're rolling.
Oh, God. That's another 2.
Yeah, you don't hit it. It just disappears out into the nothingness. So
I think that's $100, right?
that's $100 that I'm literally putting up. I actually was getting myself queued on the back end so I could just pay it, and now I'm paying it right now to the Trevor Project. So that's $100 for me.
Thanks, Matt.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not just making these numbers up. I've been rolling 1s and 2s.
Yep, and so that's $100. Looks like that's going through. Yep, I've completed the payment. So let's see.
I'll say, if any of you have played with Matt in real life, you know he's not lying.
Yep, there we go. It just updated on our tally, 281.28. That is my $100
So,
for Matt not hitting anything.
Meanwhile, I am running towards the tower still. So
Run toward you take a shot, goes into the air, disappears, and then you continue to run toward the tower.
I'm glad Cal was actually inside at that point. So.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
I don't think the front door is unlocked yet, though, right? He's still
It's
on the
not.
floor.
It's
No,
not.
he-
I
no.
just know
Okay.
that Cal went in that direction. So.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. So that was on 3, yeah?
That was on 2.
2.
And I'm on
was
3.
two.
Varus is on 3. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. So first of all, actually, my spell for is also on 3 as well.
Okay, yep. Yep.
So
Is that on
he
Gorgel?
gets 4 HP back.
4 HP back to Gorgel. His
Yes.
eyes open, he sucks in some wind, and you bring some life back into him and mend some of the wounds.
And I also grab his. I get his eye contact, but I go to grab his little scepter wand thingy.
Uh-huh.
And I just first of all, I just want to see what happens when I grab it. I mean, do I?
He looks at you very concerned, but he doesn't seem like he's strong enough to fight to resist you from taking it.
Well, I mean, unless I get like a specific indication, I kind of point it towards the wasps near me, and I try to will something to happen. Try to will some type of.
Does it
Oh,
still have the
go.
cover on it?
Yeah, I try to like. I'm not sure how. Is there a button? Like, is it like a cigarette lighter, you know, that you could use?
You clumsily,
You just will the nasty shot fan.
Varus, take the staff. Basically, like, I've seen this thing do some crazy stuff, and you just try to like, just kind of shake it at the
Like
the
a Pez
wasps.
dispenser, right?
Yes, the wasps
I
that are
helped.
gathering around. I need you to make a spells and magical effect saving throw.
All right, hold on 1 second. And I have to be under?
Correct.
Oh wow, okay. If I would have known that, that is Oh wait, so this is actually a D20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought it was a D100. It's supposed to be under 15. That's the time I want to roll a nat 20.
Ah, that is the worst you can roll in this particular scenario. Yeah, you shake this thing for a second. Gorgel looks at you and makes eye contact back with you, like, I'm sorry, is kind of what he mouths. And the thing sort of bursts with the kickback of a shotgun, and the cap blows off of it, and some blue flame sort of does spread out of it, but almost like a thruster that sends you back onto your back and your ass as you hit the ground, straight on the ground, as the wasps then actually swarm in over top of you. It was worth a shot.
Welcome
Perfectly
to my
to plan. Perfectly to plan.
Welcome to my club, Varus.
It was worth a shot. 2 of the wasps actually will sting you, Varus, and you will take 6 damage. 6 damage.
Yep.
And you are poisoned. You are now
Oh, no.
poisoned.
Okay.
And the other wasps are going to buzz back and try to also go toward the clock tower, chasing in pursuit of Lundy and Cal. 5s and 6s, 7s and 8s.
7.
All right, Ragnar, let's do it.
So not only seeing Cal just book it, but Lundy miss, and then Varus have a staff blow up in his hands. He's like, Christ, I can't rely on this group anymore. So he pulls out his potion, and he's gonna down it
Okay.
while running in a circle, just trying not to get stung.
Okay.
So that's what, 3d8?
I shout out,
3d8 plus
serpentine,
3.
serpentine.
3d8 plus 3, yes.
So that's 20 HP back.
Ooh,
And
all
then-
right.
I'm going to, with like the last of my movement, kind of try to batter swing to get ready to smack one of these things with Retribution.
Awesome. Awesome.
And
Fantastic.
that's my turn.
Yep, and then that should be the end of the round. I think everybody went, yeah? All right.
Yep.
Let's roll for initiative once again, gentlemen. Once again. Where are my 0s and 1s? All right. Boss on Ragnar. Nothing hits, Ragnar. You are lucky to not be hit this time by any of the wasps. 2s.
2.
All right. We'll go with Cal in the clock tower, and then Varus on the ground.
So yeah, I'm gonna try to run upstairs.
Okay. Yeah. Inside, this place is it's eerie. It's certainly creepy. You kind of try to navigate the place by leaving this little library or bookkeeping office that you've stumbled upon. You go out into the from the doorway, egress into the hallway. leads out to like a mezzanine where you see basically these spiraling sort of staircase sort of levels all the way up to the top of like the 250, 300 foot plus structure. You are at the second level. You have a long way to climb. What do you want to do?
Is there a rope from the bell?
There is. It does not hang down nearly low enough for you to grab it or see it. Yeah, but
Yes,
good
now
thinking.
I'm just gonna run.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna dash, so I've taken double movement up the stairs.
Nice. Okay. I thought you were gonna say, "Is there an elevator?"
Is there?
And there is no elevator shaft in this thing. Everybody walked to these things. They got their steps in. So yeah, you want to get to the top of this thing as quickly as possible. But inside, as you continue to run and you continue to traverse up in these sort of stairs down through the hallway, on these levels, these like exposed mezzanines that look down into the cylindrical or almost square rectangular shaped kind of column into the thing. You see electricity sort of surging and wind sort of blowing old furniture and dust and sort of artifact and decor around throughout the whole place. It's certainly a very interesting and unnerving place to have found yourself in alone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be keeping my eyes open for anything that looks interesting or useful, but
yeah,
my assumption is that I just need to like get up there.
Okay. Lundy, I know you were chasing the clock tower.
I think I'm next.
Oh, you are next. That's right, Varys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, I'm just gonna slam one of those potions, basically.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, like that's pretty much
probably a smart use of your
Keep
your
the cleric
turn.
alive.
Yes, keep the cleric alive.
9, 13, so it's 13, so 16 HP back, which brings you up to full HP.
Good. That's great. Okay. And then where were we at? 3,
and I'm
4.
also gonna drop the wand because don't want anything to do with that anymore.
Yeah. And Gorgel's going to go ahead and take that back. So then we're probably at Lundy next. 3, 4. Okay. 4. We'll go with Lundy and then Ragnar then. Cool. Before we kick Mr. Gorgel back on his feet.
I'm a stubborn son of a bitch, so I don't know exactly where I am in relation to the clock tower, but I'm gonna get out far enough to where I can take another shot at the clock face.
Yeah, you're probably about 20 feet in front of the clock tower at this point. You can look straight up. It's a pretty sharp angle, but you can fire right toward the face of the clock.
Yeah.
Perhaps you should try like stabbing it with the arrow as opposed to shooting it.
You climb the whole way up the 285 feet.
I'll just like throw an arrow and go, So, all right. I have never rolled this one before.
Oh,
You gotta stop switching them, man.
Yeah,
You gotta just
we're
ride through the pain.
We're breaking dice in now, are we? Okay.
Ride through the
Yeah.
pain.
This one I got with my awesome like multi-pouch dice bag. I'm just saying next time we play in person, my dice bag is the best. So.
Okay.
Can you also try rolling with a different hand?
All right, we'll do that.
The
So,
strange-
but that's changing more than one variable at the same time. It's not a proper
Hey,
experiment.
we need all the help that we can get.
Throw your bow
good shit.
instead.
At this point, Matt, just make up the number. Come on.
It rolled better. I got a 5, which would be a 6 with my magical.
It's not
weapon,
better.
What was it?
Maybe I should just sort of turn off my feed and walk away.
Wait, what was the number again?
The actual roll was 5.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
steady improvement.
you fire an arrow up there, but you're not really sure where it goes, what it does. You kind of lose sight of it as it goes up to the cloudy sky, and there's a lot of electricity and arcanic energy around, so you sort of just lose the trail line on it.
Matt, the dice that this streak started on, go back to that one. Just go back to that one, because
What is this 0 for what, 5? 4?
Yeah,
I
something
think-
like that. Yeah.
Well, I think that he actually shot 2 people in a row back to back. Party members, that is.
Yeah.
And then he rolled two twos
Hey, he
and then a
hit.
5.
But yeah, I forgot that he did.
What can I say? They call me the cooler in Las Vegas.
Ah. Yes. Yeah. No dealer nor casino manager is afraid of you. Ever.
Yeah, he's the person they put onto hot tables to just kind of cool it down.
Yep. Yeah. You'd have a good career in having no luck. So things sort of progress rather quickly. The wasps are still sort of down there swarming, chasing the townspeople. Let's go to another round of initiative.
Wait. I didn't get to go.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ragnar. Go ahead.
Bad 4.
My bad.
So I am waiting in batter style stance with the flat of my axe.
That's
this time
right.
To
Retribution's out.
try to get the most surface area possible.
Yes.
That is going to hit a armor class 4.
Right on the nose. On the
Nope.
nose.
So that is 10 damage.
10 damage, you destroy it. You just chop this thing right in half with retribution.
I don't chop it. It just splats.
Yeah,
on the flat of the blade.
Yeah, on the flat of the blade.
Oh, you just squish it.
Yeah, you just swat this thing up to the sky and just bursts into pieces. Its wings fall off. Yeah, absolutely. No, nice job. Yeah, we didn't want to miss that. All right, I guess that will lead us to our next round of initiative then.
Oh dear.
All right, 0s and 1s.
0.
All right, Cal, you continue to run up and up and up through the spiral sort of the clock tower. Anything else? As it's getting very windy and chaotic in here.
Yeah, I mean, do I notice any features, or is it just
Lots and lots of stairs, lots and lots of stone wall. And it's very
You
dirty.
hear my voice in the background going, hell.
Yeah, there's a long way to run up here, but you do notice you're getting pushed around a little bit by some of the force sort of winds, kind of almost stumbling here and there on the stairs as they gust and sort of slam stuff over, and pieces of furniture and the decor along the stairs, and even some of the stairs crumbling, cracking themselves from the shaking and the rattling of the sort of cyclone that's forming inside of there, with lots of electricity and static sort of around. Yep. Okay. Cool. 1s, 2s, 3s.
3.
All right, Varys, what do you want to do, man?
So there are wasps around. First of all, am I prone right now?
You are on your back. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna get up.
Okay.
That's the first thing I want
Yep.
to do. Is that my
Yep.
turn, basically?
Yeah, you get up and you can swing the weapon immediately of the wasp that's about to attack you.
Okay, yeah, I'll
if you
definitely
want to.
do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. That's a natural 5, so that's AC 15.
Yeah,
So
that
no.
does nothing. You get up, but you have kind of one hand on the ground still, and you swing your mace, and this wasp comes in right on for you. Anybody on 4s, 5s? 5, Lundy.
Yeah, so since I can't hit a clock tower, I'm going to go for a less challenging target and shoot at a wasp.
Okay, the wasps. Okay, though, yeah, the wasps. You're basically a little further than equidistant between the clock tower and the wasps at this point. You're pretty far from the site, so but you still
Well,
have
I
range
mean-
on them. No, you're far from the site of the combat, but
normal range or like
you're still within range, but they're at your back now. So you sort of turn and you look back into
Right.
the market square down southward.
and if there's one pestering Varys in particular, that's what I'm going to go for. I'm sorry, Varys.
oh yeah,
No. What I'm picturing right now, just so the DM knows, I'm picturing that you're actually holding because it's your back. I'm picturing that you're holding the bow, so the point is actually pointing towards your face, and you're shooting it like this. So that way, if you miss, it actually hits yourself instead.
Well, no. If I roll a natural 1, then I hit the clock tower.
Varys
I
is
don't
actually
think
like,
it
nope,
works that
I'm
way."
good. Don't shoot. You're fine. I'm good. Just leave me alone.
completely got this handled, Lundy. Actually, no, that's fine.
Since
Continue,
the
like,
clock
no,
tower is behind
please.
me, then
Actually, you were actually doing the best work when you were trying to aim at that clock tower.
shoot
Really
your
was.
shot, Lundy. Shoot your shot.
all right.
Oh Christ.
You know, that was a dude.
Yeah, you break the arrow. It just breaks in the bow.
Can you just
completely.
break his bow?
Yeah,
Just like his
the
bow.
bow is broken. Or the arrow is broken in the bow. It's a brand new bow. You wanted to upgrade the bow, but it's like when a golfer thinks he can take some strokes off his swing by getting a new set of clubs. Meanwhile, he really just needs to adjust his swing. That's kind of what you did with the upgrading the bow. You really just needed to upgrade your technique, not the utility.
And my loose fitting polyester shirt. So.
You just can't seem to get a thing off here.
This
With
is
the
this is
holder,
like my
like-
even with my bad record with dice, this
This
is
is
the worst
bad.
I've done. I mean,
This is the worst I've seen you had.
Quite the
This
streak.
is the worst streak I've ever seen anybody have.
That is a critical hit from the wasp on Varys.
Ooh, okay.
That's
Glad
gonna be-
I healed myself.
That's going to be 8 damage,
Okay.
and you will take an additional 2 damage from poison.
Very glad I healed myself.
Yeah, that should bring you fairly close to the end. Things are getting pretty bad out there. Another wasp moves in on Ragnar, misses. And that is that. Gorgel steps up to the wasp in front of Varys. He grabs the.
Oh, I already gave it back to him.
Yeah, well, you sort of set it down as he was sort of getting
Yeah.
back up and getting his bearings. He takes it, he flips off the cap, completely
Flips off the wasp.
on top of the cake. Yeah, he just gives a middle finger to the wasp.
Dispenser.
And he strikes this thing with fire, and it just bursts into flames in front of you, Varys, and just kind of shrieks as it's flapping, and then just kind of turns to dust. And Gorgel says, "Never touch my scepter."
Sorry.
Looks over at the other. 6s, 7s.
So many jokes, Bill.
Wait.
So many jokes.
Have I gone this round yet? I don't think I have I? Sorry, I rolled a 3.
Didn't you missed your you got
that's
up
right.
and-
Yep.
I just got up. Never mind. Okay,
Yep.
that's fine.
8s, 9s.
9.
All right, Ragnar.
So there's one last wasp.
Yes.
So I'm going after it. Ooh, that misses.
Okay. Yeah, you try to swing retribution. This one, not as lucky as the last one that you got it off of. You kind of turn toward it. It just dodges, kind of flies up about like 11 feet, and just kind of comes back down, hovering and buzzing, really nastily at you. And that should be the end of the round. We will roll for a new initiative again. See if we can finish these wasps off. 0s and 1s.
1.
All right, Cal. It is
I'm a
getting.
1.
it
I'm
is-
a 1.
it's getting really difficult to hear and to think in here. It's like as if a train was just kind of coming up vertically through the cylinder of this clock tower. The floor is beginning to rattle and shake. The wood is beginning to splinter up, and the handrails are beginning to kind of fall apart and deteriorate up through the tower. And you're just going to continue to keep climbing?
Yeah, I mean, that's
Okay.
yeah.
I like the persistence. I really do. This is going to be really interesting and hopefully not too sad.
This is like the scene in in Endgame where Hulk goes down the stairs.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's gonna be like that for the next literally half an hour. Where he's just,
2s and 3s.
I was a 1, by the
Oh,
way.
you were a 1. That's right. Lundy, go ahead.
Yeah. The thing is, if I actually hit the clock face, probably what you would tell me is it just goes tink and ricochets off. But I'm gonna shoot for the wasp, the remaining wasp.
Okay, go ahead.
I start chanting Lundy, Lundy, Lundy.
Lundy.
Oh,
I mean, seriously, what's the over under here?
Double or nothing. Double or nothing, we see.
I will actually, if you hit this, I will actually donate $40.
Oh, hey
That's
now.
a dirty 20 with the +1 on my bow.
Hey! $40 for the Trevor Project. Lundy actually hits something. Wow. Okay. All right.
So that'll hit a -2.
Yeah, roll for damage.
On
On the wasp.
I haven't rolled for damage in so long.
I know it's been several weeks. Several
I
weeks.
don't know how to do. I don't know how to deal damage anymore.
What is damage?
What is it? I've heard of it. I don't know. Does the +1 add to damage or not?
No. Nope.
Okay, then that's just 3.
All right, 3 damage. You destroy it. An arrow through the back of its head splits the head off from the rest of the body, detaching the wings flutter down to its side, and it falls to the ground, hopelessly deteriorating. That is the
arrow
end.
Continues through and actually donates $40 for this Trevor project.
Yes, the arrow continues on doing good work for the community, joining alongside Twitch Community Pride Celebration 2020 and donating money to the Trevor Project. Yeah, we're really excited.
Well done, Lundy.
Yeah, right. Like I can't believe how awesome his prowess with arrows is.
I mean, it just took you a little bit, and you got used to that bow, and then
when
it was like
when we like in the opening of this session, I did say that my prowess was I was a legend throughout the land with my skills with an arrow.
2s and 3s.
Wait, are we still in combat?
Random villager slow clap. That's the best comment of the night. We are not necessarily in combat. I want to play out the rest of this initiative by turn, though.
Because that was a 2. But,
Okay, go ahead. What do you want to do, Ragnar? The wasp seem to have been destroyed. What would you like to do in this moment?
I'm gonna double tap it, make sure it's dead,
It's dead.
and just.
Yeah, you just kind of.
There's not much. Let's be honest, guys. There's not much else that Ragnar's good for. So he's just making sure.
One trick pony.
Just refresh my memory. Who's poisoned right now?
Ragnar and Varys, so they'll continue taking damage. Yep. Okay, and then Varys.
Oh, I'm gonna cast like slow poison on myself for sure.
Okay.
Because I don't want to die. That's like the whole airplane thing. Like you have to make sure the mask is around yourself before you help others.
Yes, before you help others.
So my plan is to basically cast slow poison myself first, and then on Ragnar.
Okay. Lundy, you're out a little ahead of the Ragnar and Varys and Gorgel. You're sort of closer to the clock tower than you are the rest of the party on the ground. What do you want to do at this moment? We'll kind of work our way backwards back to Cal.
I'm not very good with. You said these doors are locked, right?
Yeah, they're big, heavy doors. They're barred from the inside. Probably the building's condemned.
But it's not like a chain across the front of the door. It's just a lock within the door.
Yeah, the town is actively trying to keep people out of this building. It was deemed structurally unsafe years and years ago.
Do I see anything that might look like a servant entrance or anything like that?
You take some time to kind of run around. You want to run to the clock tower, around the clock tower, that sort of thing.
I mean, I don't know how to. I can't really cure poison, so yeah. I mean.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you take a few moments. You run around the clock tower. You don't necessarily see an easier way in. The back doors of the clock tower are completely barred over and boarded up around it. There's sort of a storm cellar door around the east side that would go down sort of below, but there's chains and a big lock around that as well. And then you kind of run around to the western side where the hedges are near the north of Clock Court, closer to where Pernard's Inn is. No entrances, no ingresses whatsoever on that side. So
well, I mean, that's pretty much my round. But Varys and Ragnar, how critical are you to let's just assume that if I was casting a glance in character, how close to death are you?
The good thing is I'm wearing red.
Yeah.
So it's hard for you to tell, I'd imagine, because I always look this way.
Yeah.
Now, however, you might see that there's a little bit more. The red seems a little bit darker than usual.
I'm also wondering where the hell Cal went. But...
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. I don't know. The one that actually had an external lock, you mentioned.
Yeah, the storm cellar door.
I'm gonna hammer that as hard as I can with my dagger, and see if I can get in there.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll.
Oh, for what?
To attack the lock with your dagger, which is
Just damage. like that kind
Nope.
of thing?
Nope. Go ahead and roll to hit. Because
Is
it's
there
a,
anybody
well,
near?
yeah, right.
Is there anybody near him?
No, yeah, I meant the hit, Bill. I'm sorry.
yep, no problem.
Does anybody have navigator's tools?
Right.
So, just for the record, that's the second consecutive 19 I've rolled. So,
Yeah, you hit it with your dagger. Like you kind of just stab at the chain, but it's a dagger. You know, it's a pretty thick chain and a bolt lock, so there's not
that's
really
all
much.
I've got, man.
Yeah, there's not really much you can do with it. You're not hitting it with quite enough force.
I was really hoping
to
that would
break
end
it.
up with like a
Cal, you're inside of the clock tower, and the wind is actually picking you up off your feet a little bit as you're running up the stairs. But you're probably about 120 plus feet up from whenever you first started and tumbled into that window. There's actually furniture and things sort of swirling around inside, and you hear this sort of constant, sort of low frequency, sort of hum that sort of picks up through there, and it's loud, and it's just sort of it's haunting, it's chilling, and it's kind of not breaking your concentration necessarily, but it's almost like the clock tower itself is sort of coming alive, and it's trying to deter you from continuing to climb up. What do you do? How do you feel at this moment?
Probably pretty exhausted, and yeah. Resolve is wavering, but how structurally sound are the stairs, and how much am I being lifted off of my feet?
You're getting pushed around a few inches at a time. You're getting lifted up a few inches at a time. The wind is gushing against you, and it's just blowing up through the central column, breaking apart the wood, pushing you against the walls, knocking you around a little bit. It's like as if a troll has you by the arm, and it's just kind of dragging you around a little bit. It's not pleasant, and it's not battering you or bludgeoning you necessarily, but it's getting close. It's getting to the point where if this picked up any stronger, it's getting to the point where if it whipped you against the wall hard enough, you might be knocked unconscious.
So I'm gonna do what I can to look up the shaft and see if is it worse further up?
It looks like it. There's more of this electricity, sort of green streaks of this lightning coming down from different places, and it looks like the stairs and the columns and the mezzanines and the sort of view up to the bells is rattling really, really violently.
Is there a rope now?
The rope is pretty close. Yeah, it's probably about another 30 feet up, but you'd have to sort of take a pretty big leap of faith off of one of the edges of these balconies to catch it. It's up to you.
Okay, and the bells are quite far away still, though, right?
Yes. Yeah, they're still up about another 130 feet.
Okay. Have there been any additional rooms or mezzanines in the past?
There have been. You've sort of stopped to observe a couple of them, mostly all abandoned, empty. A lot of the furniture's been removed from them. You see some rats and sort of some vermin moving around, some feces, looks like some artifact and leftovers from some squatters that maybe were here a time or two over the last couple of years, etc. But there's not much really left in here in this place. It's very much decayed and emptied.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna go down back to safety.
Okay. So you want to descend now?
What's that? Yeah, I'm gonna descend
Okay.
to sort of a place where I'm not being thrown around, where it's less dangerous.
Okay. Yeah,
And,
you
I'm
kind of
gonna
realize.
continue.
Okay, Roger. So you kind of come as far as you think you might want to go on your own. It's getting a little too dangerous. You question this decision for a moment. If I go up further, especially here by myself, nobody will ever hear my screams as I plummet down 150 feet to my death if I get thrown off of this thing. So, wise decision. You start descending down back toward the floor from where you came, sprinting at full stop, but definitely getting a little tired. The wind itself pushing you around, that archonic sort of energy The electricity in the room, in the hollow of this condemned and abandoned clock tower, seems to be wearing on you as well. There's some type of force here. You're not sure quite what it is, but it's certainly trying you for all you have. Ragnar, Varys, what are the Bash brothers doing down on the ground there near the market?
I mean, I can. So I don't see Lundy or Cal within my vicinity.
No.
I do see Ragnar though, right?
You do, yes. Ragnar, Gorgel, and yourself are still in a little bit of a bunch there.
I mean, as I like running towards Ragnar, because I can sense that he's poisoned, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to like cast like slow poison.
Okay.
I also, while I'm doing that,
I thought you already did that.
On himself.
on myself. Yeah, that was my last turn.
Yeah.
This turn, I want to do the same to Ragnar. But in the meantime, I also want to tell Gorgel that, yeah, if you can, hey, like, we're sort of dying. It'd be nice to
Have a
like,
more
not
permanent.
die.
Have a more permanent fix.
Yeah, it would be fantastic if we weren't going to die. That'd be really, really nice.
Yep. Gorgel says that he can try to help, but it's been a long time. He can fix broken ankles, but
It's been like 3 days.
well
Saved my life, man.
yeah,
Do it again.
That's true.
With components that he had back home.
Oh yeah.
So
I will go. I will go farming. I will farm that right now if I need to.
Yeah, he made you a sort of a component. Yeah, exactly. He made the from fresh components at home. He doesn't just boom, there you're healed out of. He was able to barely.
Well, you should.
He was able to barely teach himself how to fix that girl's broken ankle. So or fix that guy's scarred eye. So
if that's the case, then I just plead to a deity. I just plead that like Ragnar and that I don't die. I just sort of like get down on my knees actually to the point where I'm just like prostrated with with fear for my friend and for myself.
Okay.
I plant retribution in the ground and I pull him up by like as much as I can with someone twice my size. Be like, we'll be fine, and I start walking to the church or the clock tower.
Okay, yeah. Gorgel tries to kind of look through a small kind of pocketbook that he has. Varys, you begin praying to a deity. Ragnar, you kind of just shrug it off and just say, rub some dirt on it. Let's all start walking toward the clock tower. Lundy, you were sort of...
tell me when we're out of the round, because I have a thing I want to do.
We've been out of the round, so go ahead.
Oh. Okay, so I kind of banged on the lock and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna run. I want to be kind of heading towards Varys, Ragnar, and Gorgel.
Okay.
But because I'm a stubborn son of a bitch, I'm gonna take another shot at the clock face.
Okay, go ahead.
Just won't let it
and,
go.
It probably will amount to nothing, but we'll see.
If he rolls a natural one, can you have it go straight up and into his face or something like that? I'm kidding.
Yeah. So like with the +1, that would be a 12.
Yeah, you fire it up there, and you can tell that it actually kind of hits part of the clock face. You can't really tell from your vantage point, though, where it goes. It's pretty far up there. You can tell you've made contact. You're not exactly sure what that might have done.
But there was no effect in the lightning and all that?
No, that is actually dissipating. It's actually being just spread out from the further sort of exterior structure of the clock tower. Cal, however, inside, the lightning violently and erratically surges up through the middle column and takes out a big piece of sort of the wooden steps that you're on, and you actually fall down a level or two, probably about 20 feet. And the wind just sort of spirals in cyclones around, sweeping bits of the furniture and the debris and the stonework up and through the interior. You take 2 fall damage on the way down as you conk your head pretty good. Your pack actually slides off of your back, and falls down to the ground down below, sort of plummets the remainder of like the 90 feet down to the ground in the center landing space in the foyer of the clock tower, what you could only presume to be very far down. So hope you didn't have any wine or anything in there, because that shit's broken now. It seems like something has happened, but through that, a moment of silence kind of overcomes the interior of the clock tower. Wind sort of kicks up and then rushes up toward the bells outside of the clock tower. You all hear one final bell strike, and the clouds sort of part, and the sun sort of peeks through, and the day remains again calm and still. The weather and the sunshine, that the sort of warmth and the atmosphere returned to where it was when folks were celebrating the festival. You hear townspeople chatting to one another. You hear people sort of clamoring in fear. You hear sort of these noises of surprise and intrigue from different parts of the pop-up tents in the shops. And Gorgel says, I fear this is more dangerous than we would have ever expected. And that is where we'll end tonight's session.
Can I just say?
So
The fact that,
Varys and Ragnar are still poisoned, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we are.
But can I just say the fact that Cal was running upstairs and Lundy was shooting at a fucking clock face, while me and Ragnar were being stabbed to death by these wasps.
There's a lot going on here, but it's a complex problem, right? And we need to think creatively. And
Complex problems, complex solutions.
So Mike, it's not that I was not, I wasn't unaware of your peril. I just thought maybe I could end because I kind of had a feeling that the wasp had been summoned.
Yeah.
And lightning was coming from the clock tower. So
sure.
No, absolutely. My character though is pissed off. Is what I'm saying. My character is me personally. I completely understand that. My character is did I just see you shoot the clock tower? What the hell is going on? There's wasp right here, and we're all dying.
It was certainly a different type of session for Clock Strike Zero Part 3. We have 2 more episodes, so we'll pick Clock Strike Zero back up after the holiday in July. On Sunday, July 12th, we move to a new time slot, so we'll be doing 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Clock Strike Zero. Please join us here on this channel on Thursday the 25th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight for Castle Blood Moon, a 5th edition one-shot adventure. And then finally on the 29th of this month, Monday, for Cyberpunk Red Arc Takedown Part 2 with a couple of our familiar faces as well as a few guests as well. We'll be raising money for the remainder of the month for the Trevor Project to join our fellow Twitch streamers and Twitch community Pride Month 2020 for the celebration events. We've raised nearly a third of our donation total tonight in one session, so I'm really encouraged by that. I'm really excited, fired up about that. As always, if you want to head down below, you can check out our other videos. We're on Twitter. You can give us a follow to stay in tune and updated and abreast of all of the events coming up for Minor Realm Games. We have a website launching next month. We have merchandise coming to our Patreon fans next month. We have a Kickstarter launching in August. So lots of cool things on the way, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in again, sticking around for a couple of hours with us while we watch Cal, Lundy, Ragnar, and Varys navigate through this little town with a big story to tell. So until next time, my name's Bill. These are just a couple of my best friends, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you. Thank you.